opinions of WPHT or Odyssey.
You should have audio now.
HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios, powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. The Larry Steinhouse Show.
You're hot.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Larry Steinhouse Show. We are broadcasting live from Investor Schooling headquarters right here in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse. I am the CEO of Investor Schooling. And both Dr. Deb and I are battling colds today, but that's not stopping us from bringing you the excitement of financial education, fun, and making it fun and accessible to everyone, but not Omri today, because Omri's not here today. Just the two of us, Deb.
It's just the two of us.
Omri's
having a good time out in Florida, so, you know.
Are we going to sing the song Just the Two of Us?
What song are we singing?
I don't know.
Just the two of us.
Yeah, I don't know how it goes. Yeah. Today we're diving into the many ways to boost your income, from real estate investing to stock options trading, navigating the stock market, and maximizing your retirement funds. We've got the insights to help you thrive. Oh, it's hard to say when you got a cold. Wait, we got the insights to help you thrive. Forget it.
You sound horrible.
I know, I sound terrible.
It sounds
worse, I know. Anyway, if you got questions, don't hesitate to call us at
855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137.
Oh my gosh.
Call us at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. I won't stop. That's 855-939-1137.
All right, we're here and ready to...
855-939-1137.
He's not even here and he makes me laugh.
All right, this is gonna be the show of coughing. So we're gonna call this the coughing show.
Yeah.
Not the cough-in show. The coughing show.
I'm coughing away like I'm moving my head on purpose.
We don't have a cough button. We need a cough button on the microphone.
I know. We should do something like that. I don't know.
Anyway, remember, we're live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, and we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment. Let us know you're here. I see Kimmy saying hi. Kimmy right away says, I miss Omri, so she's not even listening to the show anymore.
Yeah, she's done. She's done.
Joining me today, of course, both of us under the weather, my incredible co-host, the brilliant Dr. Deb Anderson, and Omri is not here today. Omri's in Florida. Anyway, let's not forget our dedicated producer, Glenn Page, who's ready to take your call and get you on the air to discuss finances, real estate, the stock market, and yes, even politics. Yes. So don't wait. Give us a call at...
Glenn?
855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137.
All right. The Larry Steinhouse Show is proudly brought to you by Investor Schooling, where we reveal money secrets you probably never even knew. Our focus is on practical learning to equip you with real-world skills in real estate investing, stock options, tax savings tips, and the keys to financial freedom. Our headquarters might be right here in Bucks County, but our online courses are reaching eager investors across the nation. Feeling inspired? RSVP for a free class this Thursday night at investorschooling.com. Let's conquer financial education together, even if I'm a bit sniffy and coffee today, right?
Is that what it says on there?
It says sniffy and coffee. Yeah, it actually says if I'm a bit sniffly today.
So
if you guys are like, into our show, you know that we've been using ChatGPT to write our intro now. So every week I have ChatGPT write a different intro, and I told it today, I said, can you write the intro with me having a cold? So that's what it said. It said, I hope this captured this. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. It says, feeling inspired, RSVP for a free class this Thursday at investorschooling.com. Let's conquer financial education together, even if I'm a bit sniffly today. Isn't that wild?
Okay. Hey.
So it's pretty cool. And then, of course, it's really, really neat that it can do that for me. Okay. So we've got an hour of coughing and sniffling.
Hopefully not too bad,
Right. And you callers need to call in, so the more you talk, the less we talk, and the more information we can give you. We can save our voices for important things.
There you go.
But Debbie, you got some things going on in the world of land, right?
I do. I have my first piece of land up on the market.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! It went up on the market yesterday.
So tell us about that from the beginning.
So that piece of land I actually got from my mentor because he has a partner, and for them it just wouldn't be worth it it wouldn't, because it wasn't, since they split everything down the middle, it wouldn't be worth it for them. So they were
Right.
like,
So basically, what you did was you bought a piece of land. You closed on it.
should I not have said that?
You didn't say it.
Okay, whatever. So
you're like Omri. You think people are in your head.
No, I was trying to give the background.
Okay.
I was giving a background on purpose.
Okay, go ahead. Give me the story.
Oh my goodness. So you said to tell you the story. I'm telling you the story,
Okay,
and you're
tell me the
interrupting
story.
me now.
Tell me the story.
So I have been working. Can I start?
Yeah,
I have been working with,
from the beginning.
I have been working with a mentor to learn how to do land flipping.
Right.
And so he and his partner had a piece of land that they were gonna not buy. And since I started working with him, he said, I think this would be a good one for you to go through the motions from start to finish. And why don't you buy it, and then you can go through the whole process. So I ended up getting under contract with this guy, like the owner of the land, the seller, I guess, whatever. And I bought it for $50,000, and I think with all the, I don't know, whatever, came out to like $51,800 or something.
Right?
Yeah, for our closing costs. So I had to do about $3,000 or $4,000 worth of cleanup on it. So when I talked to the realtor, I'm like, I specifically said, I'm like, if this isn't going to increase the value, why are we doing this? And he's like, well, and he started listing all the reasons. I'm like, all right, you know what? You're the realtor. You know the area. If you think this is what's going to work, then fine. So I think it was around, I want to say like $3,500 or $4,000. And I think we're also getting a permit for a well to be built there. So I think,
Nice,
so it makes it a little bit more appealing. And then he got all the pictures and he listed it yesterday. So we're listing it for $82,500.
Cool. And what are you expecting to get for it?
I think we're expecting to get like 75-ish for it.
Okay.
So after all said and done, I'm not going to make a ton of money, but at least I'm going through everything from, start to finish. I got it under contract. I talked to the seller. I did the closing. I did the cleanup. I got the realtor. We got the pictures. We got the listing. And now it's up for sale. So everything from start to finish.
Wow, here comes the coughing.
Here comes the coughing. So,
boy.
like I said, I'm not going to make a ton of money on it, but at least I'm going through the motions and learning. So that's good.
No, but that's one of the things that is so important in anything that you want to do to improve your life, especially financially, right? You have to take chances. You have to take risks. And you're not even taking a big risk. It's a very small risk. But the point is, if you're sitting at home and you're doing nothing, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
Debbie said, hey, you know what? I want to do something different. I want to learn a different type of real estate investing. It happens to be something we don't teach, but obviously if Debbie's successful at this, we will start teaching
More
it.
like when I'm successful, not if I'm successful.
Yes, and I apologize for that. That was really negative.
Yeah, you should. Yeah,
you're
you
right.
should know better. As a mentor, as a coach, come on.
Hey, look, I'm sick. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Okay. Seriously. So when I'm successful,
right?
When I'm successful,
you will be teaching this as well. So that would be just something else we had. But the point is, you have to take chances. The biggest risk in life is to not do anything.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're going to retire with $100. The average person retires with $160,000 at age 65. At age 65, you have $160,000. That's an average person, right? So think about that, right? What are you going to do? You're going to live on 10 years. You're going to live for 10 years on $16,000. So I actually tell people, take the $160,000, go to the casino, put $160,000 on 13 black. If you win, you have no problem with retirement.
Yeah.
If you lose, guess what? You have no problem with retirement, because now you don't have the $160,000 to lower any income benefits that you might have, like welfare or Social Security. So you might as well not have $160,000. So what you want to do is you want to take that $160,000 and don't risk it on casino. That was being pretty much being joking. But what you want to do is you want to take that risk, maybe buy a property, maybe do something that gives you recurring revenue.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was interesting because I was working so I don't want to say any states or counties or anything. So I was working in this one state, and I made an offer to this one guy. So there's two guys that I've been talking with because they're selling their land in two different states, and they're both southern. You know what I mean? Like they're very southern, so they're very, they're funny. Like it's just fun having a conversation with them. Anyway, so the one guy, I made him an offer. I think he had like 320 acres. So I made him an offer, and he called me up. Some people just text me back, and he called me up, and we were just chatting. And he actually lives in Las Vegas. I tell you this, he lives in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And he's like, how much would you give me for all? He has 1,400 acres. He's like, how much would you give me for all 1,400 acres? So I was just blown away because here I'm just starting out. So I'm expecting smaller deals. So this would be like, a $500,000 deal if it, to buy, if it went through. Sure. And we'll see what happens. I'm really not sure what's going on with that. But when I was talking to him on the phone, he was a really nice guy. And he's like, hey, if you're ever out in Vegas, I'm sorry. He's like, if you're ever out in Vegas, I said, I'm going to be out in Vegas in July. And he made me think of you because he said one of your classic lines. He's like, why don't you bring your husband? He's like, or bring your boyfriend or bring them both. You always say that in one of your things. And I just started laughing and we were cracking up. I'll take you out at the time, out of the town. Me and my wife will show you around and this and that and this and that. And he was just very funny. And I said something to him. I said, are you negotiable on this price? He's like, no, absolutely not. If I give you this for $500,000, you're getting it at $350 an acre, just around $350 an acre.
Yeah, sure.
So it was, I'm like, okay. And when I asked him that, he's like, I got to keep my wife in the life of luxury. She likes to shop, and I need to make sure she keeps shopping. But he was just going on and on. It was just really funny. He seemed very funny and sweet.
I'm going to tell you something. You missed an opportunity.
What opportunity?
As soon as he said, come to Vegas, I'll show you around.
I said that I would go.
Yeah, but you should have said, okay, pick a day.
Well, I told him I'll be there in July.
Yeah, we'll be there in July for our Financial IQ event. So we're doing an event in July called Financial IQ, which is a exclusive event. This is to help people change their life financially. And I tell you what, it's really cool because Debbie and I are writing the course, and the course is amazing. But, this is something you have to find out more about. I can't give you too much information on the radio because it's not something I could sell on the radio. I can sell on the radio. I just don't want to sell on the radio. I want you to understand the benefit of it. And obviously, if you come to Investor Schooling, you can find out more about that too. So go to investorschooling.com. You can find out more about that, and you can come, whatever, blah blah blah. But yeah, you should set them up. You should say, hey, listen, I'm coming in July 18th, 19th, and 20th, and set him up for the 15th or 16th. So instead of bringing your husband, bring me. I'll be your boyfriend.
There you go. Be my boyfriend for the day.
So you go, see that? I brought my boyfriend, not my husband, right?
Yeah. So no, I still have to come because I still have to get. I actually reached out to a realtor to get me numbers on what would be what I could sell. I mean, because of course I would need to make a profit, and
yeah, of course,
and to be able to even consider that, I would need to be in the $800,000 to $900,000 range to be able to sell. Otherwise, between the cost of the money and the cost of paying him and the cost of closing and the cost of listing and all that stuff, I'd need to make. To make a profit, I'd have to be at least at 800. So I am waiting to hear back from the realtor to see if he can give me numbers, and we'll see what happens. So I plan on calling him back up anyway, so I can always set up a date. Are we going? I guess we're going out a day or two early.
You what?
I said, I guess, are we going out a day or two early?
I probably got a day or two early anyway. So yeah. So why don't you do that? Why don't you set up with him? I'd like to meet this guy too. I mean, obviously it's your deal, but look, anybody who lives in Vegas, has a lot of money, and has a piece of land that's that big, and I mean, so that might be somebody good to know.
Yeah. He has properties in other states too. He said the only ones he's interested in selling right now are the ones he was talking to me about. So it's actually 7 different lots. So that's another reason why it needs to be a really high number for me to be able to profit off it, because it'd be 7 different listings and 7 different this and 7 different that. But all the lots are, the smallest lot is 80 acres, and the biggest one I think was like 320 or 360 acres. So he's got a lot of land. Yeah, so it's interesting. We'll see what happens. And then I have this other guy that I've been chatting with. He's also very sweet, and he's just like, I was out working with my cows the other day. Larry's sneezing over here. I was out working with my cows the other day, and I just came up to see how things were going. He's just very sweet every time I chat with him. And he has about 50 acres, but it's split up into 2 lots. So I think one is like 15 acres, and then it butts up against another one, which is like 30-some acres, and it's all wooded, and he's actually looking to do a 1031 exchange.
Okay.
So it's interesting because he was just like, and he's complaining about the 1031 exchange and how am I going to find a property in 45 days? And why is the government, I just kind of listen, and he just kind of talks. So I think maybe that's why he likes me, because he just talks and I just kind of listen and say yes, yes sir, whatever, blah, blah. But
very cool.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I'm working it.
Very cool. No, and that's what it's all about, right? You go out there, you take chances, and things happen. You don't take chances, things don't happen. We talked about last week the property Omri and I bid on at the auction.
Yeah, you should give an update on that.
So it's actually getting better.
Okay, so you need to remember that people are not in your head, and you might want to explain the whole story again.
Look, what a great idea.
Hey, look at that look. The look that Larry's given me.
Could I even start and maybe start the conversation?
You can.
Which is, where I was going to go.
All
Until
right.
you interrupted me.
All right.
Does that sound familiar?
It's all good. Keep going. If I'm not coughing, Larry is.
Coughing, sneezing. Yeah, Anybody want to join us in the studio? The studio is what is this, like 6 by 9, right? Maybe, right? The studio, and you can get all our germs.
There we go.
It'll be a perfect place. So, and it's all Omri's fault too, because Omri was sick 2 weeks ago,
Something like that. Yeah.
and then he brought it in, and then Brian was sick, right? And then
Was Brian sick?
Yeah, Brian was sick for a couple of days.
Was he? I didn't realize.
Brian works in the office too, and then now Debbie and I are both sick. So at least we got it at the same time.
Yeah, so I actually had it like a day or two before you, and I think I'm closer to the tail end. I just have this cough that just doesn't seem to want to go away. It's like I have a tickle in my throat, and no matter what I do, I can't get rid of my tickle. So
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, right, I got you.
yeah, so
All right, so this property. So last week we were talking about this property that Omri and I bought, and it was a property we bought at the auction. And what happened was at the auction, so Omri and I went, and there was 5 properties that he identified that we should be bidding on.
so this is at a sheriff's sale.
Sheriff's sale, thank you. Right?
Sheriff's
So
sale.
sheriff's sale auction rate, which is a foreclosure sale, basically.
Yep.
And 5 properties that Omri identified that we should be looking at. 3 of them, when we got there, 3 of them were taken off the auction. Like, in other words, they were going to stay, and they weren't up for auction at that day. Maybe they will be another time. And 2 of them, we were outbid, and we said, yeah, forget it. But just as we were done, the next property came up, or another property came up, and I looked it up, and I saw this property, and it was an acre, and it had a couple of buildings on it, and it looked like it was pretty interesting. And I'm listening to, and I find it fascinating, so I'll follow the properties, I'll see what happens, right? So the debt on it was like $800,000. But the lawyer for the bank stands up and says the upset price is $280,000, which means you got to bid anything over $280,000. You can bid $280,005 if you want to, but I nudge Omri and I go, bid $281,000, and he looks at me and goes, "Are you sure?" I go, "Yeah." So he bids $281,000, and no one counters. And I got to tell you, at that moment, I was like, "Uh-oh, what don't I know?" So typically what happens is when we say we did the research on the other properties, we're researching to see what loan position we're buying, right? So sometimes there's more loans on this property, more debt on this property that we don't know about that we might be buying by buying this. So right away I knew we were in trouble because nobody out there. I'm looking around the room and there's some sharks in that room. And I know who they are. And there's some sharks, and none of them are standing up. Nobody's thinking about it. Some of them are shaking their head, and other people are going, "Wow." I knew the difference. The ones shaking their head were the ones who were the sharks, and the ones going, "Wow," were the ones who had no idea what we just did. Because we didn't either. And we're not sharks. We're not super experienced at the auction, but I knew at that moment we were in trouble. So in the auction, you go to Recorder of Deeds in the building, the courthouse. And by the way, Omri brought one check instead of multiple checks. He brought a $50,000 check. Our bid was $281,000. All we have to put is 10% down. So technically, all we had to do was put $28,100 down. But we didn't have a check for $28,000. We had a check for $50,000.
Yeah.
So we gave them the $50,000, which is a mistake. Never do that again.
Yeah, that's a classic
I know
mistake.
That, right?
I did when I teach the tax deeds. I always say go with like multiple checks, like
Yeah, I know.
like 10,000.
We got the check, and I didn't even check with him when he did. But anyway, so he gives him $50,000, and we go upstairs to look at the Recorder of Deeds. We look it up, and we find all these debts. I'm like, oh no, including $1.75 million cross-collateralized debt. And I'm like, oh no. So I immediately get in the car. I call the attorney, and I have a really good attorney friend who is a big foreclosure attorney. And he's my attorney, but he's also a friend. So he calls me up. I call him up. I said, "Look, Steve, we either made a big mistake or we hit the lottery." And he goes, "All right, I'll look into it." So he does some work looking into it. Now, the big problem we have is we have 10 days from last Friday, which will be 2 days from now, Monday, to come up with the other
Are they open Monday?
Yeah.
Okay.
To come up with the other $230,000. We have to have it by there. $230,000 we have to have by 3 o'clock on Monday. Now, we have access to the money, so that's not the issue.
Yeah.
The real issue is if we really have this problem with all this debt on this property, We may want to just lose the 50 grand, walk and say, sorry, we made a mistake, and lose the 50 grand, which is not a great thing, of course. But so my attorney's working on it all week, and he's coming up with, hey, I'm not sure if you bought the first position or the second position. If you bought we bought the second position, then whatever in the first comes with it. If we bought the first position, everything else goes away.
Right.
So then it turns out that they didn't. We actually have the first position, by the way.
Oh, okay.
It is confirmed.
Okay.
It is confirmed we have the first position, but we have an issue.
Okay.
And the issue is something different happened. There was a different kind of foreclosure. I don't want to get into it too much in the air because there may be some litigation.
Oh, okay.
So I got to be careful when I say in the air. But it was a different kind of foreclosure, not a normal foreclosure, which might possibly give some room for the other debtors to say, no, sorry, we're not going to figure our debt. So we don't know where we are, but my attorney's pretty sure that we're fine.
Okay.
So we're gonna work on that. We're gonna try to get that happen. So I'll let you guys know what happened. We also asked for an extension. So the bank has agreed to an extension. We want an extension. The bank's agreed to an extension. We just have to let the courthouse know, hey, and the courthouse has to agree to our extension of 30 days to come up with the rest of the money, which gives us plenty of time to find out what the story is going to be. Most likely, we're getting this property. But it's going to be, there might be a little bit of a fight. And, but we're like...
A fight with the debtors?
Yeah, with the debtors. But that's fine. It doesn't matter. We're going to end up with the property one way or another. It's just going to be the easy way or the hard way.
Okay.
So, but if there's anything else we missed, then we have to decide whether we're going to forfeit our $50,000 or, figure out a way to get it back. So, that's pretty much where we are. It's kind of a weird story. By next week, I'll have more, of course. And I'll keep you guys informed. But if we do this, it's a property that I want to turn into 14 or 15 apartments. And I think it'll be really, really cool. Now,
I want to say one thing, I
Sure.
think, to you. So as people are listening to this, I want to make sure that people don't just bid on properties
No,
willy-nilly,
don't do that, yeah.
So when I remember when Larry came back on Friday, he's like, oh my God, this is what we did. And I'm looking at him like, you have got to be kidding me, because this is a classic rookie move that you don't do. And he should know better.
that's right. Absolutely.
So, and I always say, like, because I do the tax deed auctions, I'm like, make sure you never bid on something you haven't researched, because
Right.
you will get yourself in trouble, and you have gotten yourself in a little bit of a hot water trying to figure this out. And if you researched this beforehand, you wouldn't have
I
done
would have
that.
never bid.
Right.
So the interesting part is I would have never bid. But if it turns out in our favor, wow, how cool is that?
I know, but just be, I don't.
I get it. I
Yeah,
get it.
just
I
don't,
mean,
just-
this is a serious gamble with $50,000.
Yeah, it's a serious gamble with $50,000, and on top of that is if you don't go back, Omri's banned
Banned
for
from the
6
auction
months.
for 6 months, I
Yeah,
know.
for 6 months.
That's the other thing, right? If we don't buy it, we're banned from the auction for 6 months, and Omri right now is looking for a personal residence, so it's a little more difficult because he's trying to find one at the auction. So it is one of those things where, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it'll play out fine, but I'm just saying that please do your research when you do stuff like this.
So it's like, it's a fun story. It's just to me, it's just a fun story. Matter of fact, we have this thing, like when I make a mistake in class, I tell everybody, usually it's stock option mistake. This is the first time it was ever a real estate
It's
mistake.
the first time I've ever seen a real
I
estate
know.
one.
So we have I tell everybody, okay, everybody take a piece of paper and they crumple it up into a ball, and then I say, throw it at me. So every time I make a stock options mistake, like I'm playing outside of rules or something, my own rules, I make everybody pelt me with paper. So the other day at the mastermind meeting on Monday, I told the story, and I said, all right, everybody take a piece of paper and pelt me with it. And it was funny because everybody hit me pretty hard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they hit me harder than usual.
And then even like the new people who were there, they're like, "What's going on here?" Like they're not understanding it. Like, so it's just pretty funny.
So here's, so a lot of times mentors, you think they're perfect, and they're not. There's no such thing as a perfect person. Well, there was one, but and we'll celebrate that tomorrow. Easter.
Oh,
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, never mind.
I'm a Jew. I don't know if you know
I'm
that.
a Jew too.
Yeah, but Jews don't usually celebrate Easter.
Well, I don't-
You're just an odd one.
I'm an oddball.
You're an odd one who celebrates Easter, right?
Yeah, I just
Okay.
thought I mentioned it.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Okay, anyway, so and it's funny because you think they're all perfect, and I'm gonna tell you honestly, if you find a mentor who makes mistakes, that's the mentor you want to hang around because you're gonna learn from those mistakes.
Yeah.
I call it the idiot tax. So I basically pay the idiot tax for you. So now I would tell people when you go to the auction, you make sure you bring 10 $5,000 checks, not 50,000, right?
Yeah.
Or even 50 $1,000 checks. It doesn't
No,
matter.
I wouldn't. No, you don't do that. But like when I do mine, I do like so I'll have my whatever bid price, and I know what my max bid will be. So then I count it down from there. So let's just say my max bid price is $100,000. I might have a 20, a 25, a 10, a 5, a couple ones,
exactly,
a couple
right.
hundreds,
That's
and
right,
then
that's what I meant. But
whatever.
I mean, but what the point is, you want to be able to put down at least the least amount that you possibly can.
Yeah. At
Because
least amount.
I mean, if we lose this money, it's $22,000 more than we're supposed to lose.
Right.
And for no other reason that we didn't bring another check.
Yeah.
Which is foolish, obviously.
And the other thing, actually, what's interesting, and I didn't know this, when I first started doing tax deed auctions, I'd go to my bank and I'd get all these cashier's checks, and
Right.
in all these denominations to the whoever the tax people were, and then if I didn't get the bid, I'd go back to the bank and I'd return the checks. They'd put it back in my
Right.
account, and I didn't know it at the time, but the head guy of the bank, which I just happens to be friends with, he's like, Deb, he pulls me aside. He's like, what are you doing with this money? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm going to tax auctions. I'm doing this. I didn't get the bid. He's like, do you have something that can verify that? And I'm like, yeah, and I'm showing him all the paperwork. He's like, okay, we just need to make sure because this is how money gets laundered. And I'm like, oh my God, they caught me for money laundering. They thought I was laundering money.
So
and
how
I didn't.
could you possibly launder money if you're bringing the check back?
Well, because technically it's different money than what you took out of the bank.
No, it's not. It's the same exact check.
No. According to them, it's like, yeah, even though I took the money out of the bank and the check is made out to, whoever the real,
Oh, okay.
you know what I mean? It's made out to the tax people because it's different in every state, right? Or whatever.
Right.
And then I'm taking that check and then putting it back into my account. So technically I was money laundering. So apparently the
weird.
board, like I did it a couple times, and the board of the bank flagged it, and then they talked to him and to talk to me next time I came in to say, hey,
Wow.
Deb, what are you doing with this? And it was just hysterical. So I got 2 different calls from the bank, one from the head guy and one from the guy underneath him saying, oh, you're the one who does the tax deeds, right? This is what this is from. I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, this is, yeah.
I never had that happen to me. I mean, I've returned checks before, but I've never had that happen.
Well, I guess because I was doing it pretty often,
you are,
that
yeah.
it wasn't just like a one-time thing. It was just I was going to auctions pretty frequently. That
Wow.
they're like, "What's going on here?" And I'm like, "It was
Neat.
it was cool. It was neat."
Yeah, it
but-
is cool. I know.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
was
It's
just
like,
neat.
like when you walk into the bank and you're like unusual.
Yeah.
I walked into the bank one day and I withdrew $30,000 in cash because I had to pay some contractors because they only want the cash.
Okay.
And the bank's like, we don't usually get this kind of request. And I said, can I have hundreds, please? And they go, we don't have 30,000 in hundreds. I'm like, seriously? You're a bank?
Yeah, but people don't use cash that much
I know,
anymore.
they use
Everybody's
cash,
using,
exactly, right.
everybody's using cards now. So,
Yeah.
and I think
And it's rare that a contractor only takes cash, but
yeah,
these guys in
that's
Florida,
actually that's
a lot of people in Florida, they're it's weird. Florida's weird.
That's almost kind of like a red flag that they only take cash.
I know,
Yeah,
but when they've done the work and they got to get paid, I'm
Okay.
going to pay them.
all right. I'm just saying that's weird.
Even Cash App and Venmo, you could send them Cash App and Venmo, and it's technically cash.
I know, but it's only like you get capped at a certain amount. So you know what?
Right, it's true.
It's interesting. I've been getting frustrated with my some of my contractors, or like I had a problem. Like they had it was an exterminator I had to get out because I guess some mice are coming into the house or whatever. Blah blah blah. So they'll go and they'll do the work, and then they expect payment like immediately. Like
Yep, that's a new thing. I know.
I don't know what's going
Like,
on.
I mean, immediately, like sometimes
Within,
when they're
like,
at the
10
door
minutes.
before they
Yeah.
even walk in.
Yeah, like
you got to
it's-
pay me before I walk in. I'm like, what do you mean? Don't you even bill me?
I don't know what, because I had it with a different
It's a new
contract.
thing now. I know.
Yeah, because I had all the gravel put down at the one at Monroe,
Right.
And he's like, and he sent me the the request, and I'm like, okay, and then he's like, did you get the request? I said, yeah. I'm like, I wrote back, I said, I have never not paid you. Give me an hour. I'm in the middle of something. You know what I mean? I'm like, but it was just, I'm like, what is going on?
Oh,
That
yeah.
it's like, I'm telling you, it's like within an hour or two, and if they don't get it by hour 5, they're freaking out.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like,
It's so bizarre.
I don't know what's going. It's very weird. It's very
So
weird.
I understand them because they don't. Once you put the gravel down, they can't pick it back up.
No, I know, but I've been working with this guy for like, I don't know, 6 months or a year, and I've never not paid. Like all my contractors or all anybody, I've
Right.
never not paid anybody. Never not paid
Right.
anybody.
Right.
So I'm like, what are you doing? It
I
was
know. I got the same thing. I mean, like the other day, you heard my contractor call me up, and he wanted $6,000 from Florida, which is fine. And it was funny. I just happened to move all this money out of my Cash App account,
Yeah.
so I couldn't send him the $6,000. And like he didn't tell me he needed $6,000 that day, But I gave him what I can. I gave him when I told him I give him the rest on Tuesday because I got to move money back into my Cash App. He was fine. He was okay with it because he's done work with me before, and he's heard. He trusts me. But it's just one of those things that you're right. They want it now. This is they send you a bill. They want it paid immediately.
Yeah, it's like it's.
So let's do this, Deb. We're going to come back. I want to talk about when we come back. Remind me. I want to talk about Lev 27 and the charity that we started.
Okay.
And also I want to give everybody the phone number again: 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. Call in with any of your questions about finances, real estate, stock market. I don't even care if it's politics. Doesn't matter. 855-939-1137. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Hi, this is Larry Steinhouse, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation.
You just said
That's right,
your
house may be
houses.
cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137.
You should have said something about the whorehouse.
Hi, this is Larry Steinhouse, and I want to tell you about a charity we formed called Lev 27. Lev 27 is a charity that helps people stay in their homes. Look, sometimes life happens. Many people live paycheck to paycheck, and if suddenly something happens and they can't afford to pay their rent, we will step in and help them. We'll even cover any legal fees to keep them in their home.
Did you
Go
hear
to
him, Larry?
lev27.org. That's
The Omri number's
lev27.org
right.
to find out how you can help or make a donation. Thank you. Hi, this is Larry Steinhouse, and I want to tell you about a full-day event we're having on Saturday, June 14th. Not only will you learn stock options and real estate, but you'll also learn asset protection, you'll learn how life insurance really works, and so much more. To sign up for this event, go to 4mmw.com. That's the number 4mmw.com, and I'll tell you what, if you put in the coupon code WPHT,
I said Larry was
get a
actually
free
playing the
ticket.
guitar while
That's
he
it,
read this.
4mmw.com,
you were playing the guitar.
coupon code WPHT. Hey, this is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. How many times
All right, I can give you a 30 here. I can give you another minute.
Yeah, give me another minute. Go to investorschooling.com. I can't believe you haven't signed up for a class yet. You're going to learn real estate investing. You're going to learn stock options trading. You're going to learn things about money that you didn't even know existed. Go to investorschooling.com right now. Oh my goodness. This Thursday, investorschooling.com, and take that free class. See you there. Hey, this is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. Listen, I know sometimes you worry about coming to see me because you don't want to invest in real estate, because you don't want to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants. I'm going to teach you a way that you don't have to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants, or even own any real estate and invest in real estate at the same time.
10
you
seconds
want to
if you're
learn
ready
this,
to come
so
back.
go to
All right,
investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com, and take a complimentary class this Thursday, and I promise you, no toilets, no trash, no tenants.
This program is paid for by Investor Schooling.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. This is Larry Steinhouse, and this is the Larry Steinhouse Show. I am here with Dr. Deb, and we are both sick. We have a cold, we have sneezing, we are coughing, and we are dedicated to you. That's why we're here. So you need to call us and say, hey, just even call us and wish us well, just so we can feel better that we're doing this, wasting our beautiful afternoon, that we could be staying in bed. She would be in her bed, I would be in my bed. We're married to different people. And enjoying the weather. Too bad Omri's not here. He would have loved that, right? He would have eaten that right up. So anyway, I forgot where I was. But call us so
Something
we
about
feel better.
separate beds. Separate
Yeah,
beds.
we'll even
we're
have
talking
Omri
about.
give you the phone number again. Go ahead, Omri.
855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. Call us at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. I won't stop. That's 855-939-1137.
Thank you, Kimmy. Kimmy writes, I hope you both feel better soon. Thank you, Kimmy. We appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Kimmy. At least somebody cares about us.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's only 8 people listening to the show, but, if half of you called, we would feel much better about it. So, you know the number, 855-939-1137. Give us a call and wish us well. So, I want to talk about our charity.
Talk about our charity.
So we have a charity. It's called 1127. You probably just heard the commercial a little while ago. We started this charity a little over a year ago, and it's basically for people who get into trouble, right? So let's say somebody's renting an apartment, and it doesn't matter how long, but just for example, they're renting it for 2 years. They've always paid their rent on time. Everything's fine, but all of a sudden something happens. Maybe they lose their job temporarily, or they break a leg, or they get in a car accident, or
like life happens. Life happens.
Life
happens,
right?
Yeah.
And they can't pay their rent. Like, look, we teach, and if you've heard this show before, we teach as a landlord, rent's due on the 1st, on the 2nd it's late, on the 5th it's a late fee, and on the 15th we file for eviction. So that's what you're supposed to do. So this landlord is, he's doing it, he's diligent, he files for eviction. He feels really bad that he has to do it, but he knows that he has to do it to protect himself. So this person who probably, maybe needs a month or two rent and will get back on their feet, in other words, everything will be fine. After that, they need some help to make sure that they could just cover a month or two rent. So we'll cover up to 2 months rent plus any legal fees to get the person back, to keep the person in their house. So basically what will happen, the person will call us, there's a qualification sheet that they have to fill out, and then we talk to the landlord, and with two things. One is we have to send the money to the landlord only, and the other thing too is the landlord has to let us know for sure that they're not going to let us go. They're not going to let them go. So anyway, if you want, what is this? Some weird guy named Omni is calling from Florida. So wait, hold on. Before you put Omni on, this weird guy named Omni is calling from Florida.
What's funny is that
so
even Glenn spells his name wrong.
There's two things about this, right? Do we want to talk to some weird guy named Omni, and do we really want to talk to somebody calling from Florida? I mean, what do you think, Deb? Should we bother?
I think we should. What
do you think, Glenn? Should we talk to this guy named Omni, or
let him hold?
I mean, if he can't even, if he got a name like Omni, I mean, if his name was like Omri, right, it would be something else. But Omni, I don't know about that. So
this is the only way Dr. Deb can get some words in, by just leaving him on hold.
That's funny. I actually have been talking this episode.
So Omri is in Florida right now. So maybe Glenn spelt his name wrong, or maybe Omri is pretending to be a guy named Omni to fool us. So let's go to Omni. What's up, Omni?
Hello,
sir. Can I speak to Larry Steinhouse, please?
You're speaking to him now, Omni.
Can I speak to Larry Steinhouse, please?
You're speaking to him.
I want to clarification. What are you selling hookers or hookers' houses?
No. That was hooer houses. That's not hookers. But what are you trying to say, man?
I'm sorry. Here, that's how we say it.
Wait.
Your accent is pretty impressive, Omri. You know what I mean? It doesn't even sound like him.
Wait, I'm trying to figure out who it is. Is it really him?
Hello, sir? Yeah.
It doesn't sound like him.
No,
but
actually, I have a feeling it might be.
No, it's him, but making another voice.
But it might be his father.
No.
Are you buying the houses with the hookers, or I need to remove the hookers before you buy the houses? How does it work?
No, we keep the hookers in place so that you can get extra money for them.
With you. Yeah, we prefer if you take the hookers with you.
Yeah, you get more money if you keep the hookers there. So
So what's going on in Florida?
What do I do with the silver pole? I have a silver pole in the middle of the living room. You want me to remove it before you buy the house?
I have to tell you a funny story about that. I swear, I got to tell you a funny story about a silver pole in the middle of a room. No joke. You want to talk about naivety, and that was me.
Okay.
I go into this house one day, like somebody wants to sell the house, right? And it's I don't know I think it was the person who was selling it I was talking to. I'm not sure if I was.
I think I heard this story. I think I heard this story before.
But it's just very funny, right? So I'm trying to remember who I was talking to directly. If it was I think it was the seller directly. So I got their house directly from the seller.
Yeah.
And I'm going through the house. I'm looking at the kitchen. I look at the living room. And I go into one of the bedrooms. And in the middle of the bedroom, there's a silver pole with a bottom and a top. And I go, and I swear, I look at her and I go, is there something wrong with the roof that you need the pole to hold up the house? And she goes, no, that's a dancing pole. And I was so embarrassed that, number one, I pointed it out, and number two, that I didn't know what it was. So
you didn't know what a stripper pole looked like?
I mean,
how old were you?
This was a couple of years ago.
And you've never been to a strip club? You don't know what a pole looks like?
I know what it's. You got to understand. it's like one of those things, like when you see somebody when they're out of their element, you don't recognize them.
Okay.
I just saw this, and all I think about was the house and the structure of the house. Was it holding up the roof?
Okay.
To keep the house, and then as soon as she said that, I laughed hysterical because I realized the mistake I made, and I was just so embarrassed. So what's going on in Florida, Omri?
From problems to problems. I'm the sheriff here. I'm going with the masking tape, putting notices on people's door. Fun.
So you only have one person you're putting the door on. So we have a tenant who's a little bit late, and you're going to take care of that, right? And what else?
She already paid, believe it or not. She paid
She paid almost everything,
5 minutes.
She paid the other. She paid the rest.
Everything. She paid 5
good.
minutes.
So for context,
On the door,
they had a person
checked-
that was in the mobile home park,
and they were late.
So
Right, and it was the 15th, and we filed for eviction. But she got lucky that we hadn't paid the attorney yet, because now we could cancel it.
Yeah.
Because she would owed us $750 more.
oh well, okay.
So she got very lucky. So I think she's getting the hint that we don't play around, and I think that's important. And that's what you have to do. You have to train your tenants.
That's the point. Yeah,
You have to tell your tenants that you're a good landlord, not a
Put
bad
the note-
landlord. Because there's no such thing as bad tenants. There's only bad landlords. And bad landlords let people go after 15 days. They just say, okay, no problem. When you have the money, just pay me. Don't do that. That's a big mistake. You need to do it right away. Hey, we got some, hold on a second. We got somebody else on the phone, and I'm not sure if we could keep you on the phone. If we can, I just want to go to them. So so if you could keep them on the phone, Glenn, let's put Alan on. What's up, Alan?
You got him.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Long-time
Excellent.
listener, first-time caller.
Oh,
Well, it's
great,
about
great.
time you
This
called. When are you going to
actually-
show up for investor schooling?
Yeah. So this is a perfect segue, as a matter of fact. So I've got some extra money in my hand, and I'm trying to figure out what's the best
Is it
thing to
cash?
do with this money to
Wait,
make
is it
some
cash? Is it cash?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Bring it to me.
Cash.
Just bring it to me.
No, I needed more. I needed more.
So my question is this. So my wife and I are going back and forth trying to figure out, hey, what are we going to do with this? We want to maximize the value of this money. And she's like, let's get into some real estate and get some rental income.
Awesome.
properties.
Good
I'm
idea.
Like, I don't want to deal with that because I don't want to run around and put signs on people's door and do all this stuff and deal with plumbing that's broken and doors that are broken and
It's
leaks
not
and
like
window
that.
safeties are broken. all
Right.
It's not like that. People always think that it's like that, and it really is. I think we always tell you like our
You guys talk about it every week.
So
No,
we just talk about
I
We
know,
gotta-
but I mean,
hold on.
okay,
You
but-
got to understand, Alan, we own hundreds of properties,
yeah. So
right?
I mean, yes,
And we're talking about one little story, and
Yeah.
we bring up the story to tell you how we solve the problem, not
Yeah.
because it's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, like this, this woman, so we teach her how to be a landlord at investor schooling, and we're just giving examples of how to teach you to be a landlord. Look, when things happen, you have to fix them right away. That's just the way it is. And when somebody's late on their rent, you have to take care of it immediately. In 43 years, you know how many evictions I've had? 43 years. I've had hundreds of tenants. Guess how many evictions I've had?
I'm guessing hundreds.
How about 3? How about 3?
No.
3. And 2 of them I settled before we went in front of the judge.
yeah.
I only had to literally evict one person.
Behind.
It's
But
not.
there's a whole process behind that.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
want.
isn't there? I mean, it's not like
So-
just okay. Boom.
No, the difference is how I
So
set
if you
the
will come
expectation.
and if you will join us on a Thursday, you will figure out that there is a way to invest in real estate without dealing with all that. Don't be intimidated by the ton of trash.
Okay, so
You can still invest in real estate and don't deal with it.
Well, you can do that too. You can invest in real estate in a lot of different ways
All right,
that
so
you
go
never
on.
touch a property. But you know what, Omri, you're breaking up, and you're interrupting. So
he's
so,
classic Omri.
So you know, I don't know.
Like
If,
always.
is it possible to put Omri on hold, Glenn, and we get back to him, or have him call back in? Because I want to finish.
Yeah, that's
finish,
okay.
I want to finish. Oh, well, you can just be quiet. I don't care either one. All right. So, Alan, here's the deal, right? It's not hard to be a landlord. It's hard to be a bad landlord. If you're a good landlord, nothing bad can happen. I mean, really, it's like, if you know how to protect first of all, you need to protect your properties from your estate. You need to protect yourself from your tenants, and you need to treat your tenants like human beings. Listen, if my tenant calls me up and there's a problem, like a problem, I don't like the air conditioner doesn't work and it's 95 degrees out, I say, listen, I'm really sorry. My HVAC guy will be there tomorrow to fix it. I apologize for the inconvenience. And the guy goes out there and fixes it. If it's $6,000 for a new air conditioner, it's $6,000 for a new air conditioner.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's not. Most of the time, it's a couple $100 because maybe a filter's clogged or something else is broken. Right?
Yeah.
It's nothing. In 43 years. In 43 years, twice have I gotten a call at 2 o'clock in the morning, and guess what? Now, somebody calls me at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know what? My phone is off anyway.
So
I turn my phone off.
I want to go back to...
So they can't even talk to me.
I want to go back to what he said, though. He has however much money he has, and should he do with it?
Right.
So I think we should maybe answer the question.
Well, sure.
One thing that I was thinking of is that we should consider talking to him about like an infinite banking policy. So he
a banking policy. We could do an infinite banking policy, which is a life insurance policy designed a certain way. We also have, you can invest with you can invest with a real estate investor. You could be the money. You could also be a money lender. We teach money lending.
Yeah.
And money lending is a really great idea. I mean, it's one of the greatest things that we do in investor schooling for people who have money and don't want to be involved in real estate. We've had people come to us, let's say, whatever, they had like, I don't know, $500,000, $1 million, whatever they had, and they didn't know what to do with it. They had it in the stock market. The stock market goes up and down. They get confused. They get angry. They get upset. They get, all this. But we have them lend money to real estate investors. We teach them how to do it right so they're protected. In fact, the risk of lending money to a real estate investor on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 2. Yeah. If you do it right, it's like a 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're protected.
Yeah, I mean,
and what kind of rate of return are you getting on that?
Typically 8%. Sometimes more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sometimes more depending on the deal. So, again, we would teach you how to do it, how to price that to make it fair for both you and the investor. Remember that the investor needs to be able to have a ROI on your money, and you need to be able to be sure that the money is not going to be, that you're going to be able to get paid back. And that's one of the things that we teach the most is how to get paid back. And in fact, it's kind of interesting because the way we teach it, we teach it so that if you do it right, you don't even want the person to pay you back. Because if the person doesn't pay you back, you benefit, believe it or not. So that's how we teach it. And, again, it's hard to get into all that. It's not hard to get into it, but not to get into it all now. That's a lot of things that we talk about. So where do you live?
I'm in Jersey.
What part?
Hunterdon County.
So you're not too far.
No, Hunterdon is probably like an hour, hour and 10 maybe.
So come to class on Thursday and learn. And, and also I'm actually this Thursday, for anybody who's listening, I'm going to be doing a deep dive into stock options. I'm actually rewriting the stock options classes. So for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to be doing a deep dive into stock options. And honestly, if you have a little bit of money, you might want to take a little bit of money and put it into stock options too, because you could leverage your stock option money into big bucks. Now, I wouldn't take it all. I mean, whatever you have, let's say it's $100,000, I wouldn't take more than 10 or 20,000 of that and do stock options. The rest I would do something else with, because if things do go bad, you don't want to lose all your money, but most of the time things don't go bad. We teach covered calls, which is an incredible
I was just thinking,
I'm
like a covered call for that would be good for him.
A covered call would be fantastic for
him.
you.
Yeah.
In fact, the other day, I'm teaching covered calls lately, and it's funny. I always get the skeptics, even the students who are full-time students. They've been here forever. They're still skeptical sometimes when I teach something. So I'm teaching them this covered call play, and they're like, I don't know, I'm nervous. I said, okay, I'm going to do it for you. I put $150,000 into an account. I've withdrawn in 2 weeks ago. I sold covered calls on Boeing. I bought Boeing stock, sold the covered calls. I withdrew $20,000 from that account, and the account still has $150,000 in it. How would you like that? And I can do that next month. And next month I could withdraw another $20,000. No matter what Boeing stock is at, I could withdraw another $20,000. And I could probably do that.
That sounds good. That sounds good to me.
I know. Now, of course, what they say. Results are not
guaranteed.
I don't know.
Whatever.
What do we say? Results are not guaranteed. Whatever I have to say to make my lawyer happy, but I'm going to show you how and why it works, and you're going to do it yourself. All right. All I'm going to do is teach you how to do it, and you're going to do it yourself. I don't do it for you. You just do it yourself, right?
Yeah.
And so these are all things you can do. The best thing to do is come to Investor Schooling, hang out with us for a little while, and learn. Be here Thursday night. Go to investorschooling.com.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I might be there. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Bring your wife. Hold on. Bring your wife also.
No, here's another thing, right? Right. Here we go. these are the people that drive me nuts. I might be there.
Yeah, you are or you won't.
Right. Either
So
come
make a
or don't
decision.
go. Right. It's either do or do not. Like my favorite my favorite guy Yoda. Right. Do or do not. Try or try or do. Or what is it? There is no try. There is do or do not. Right. So either be there or don't be there, Alan. But here you go. You got a problem, right? So what is the problem worth to you? Is it worth 3 or 4 hours of your time, including the driving time, to come and find out the answer to your problem? Is it worth it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you coming Thursday?
I might be. I got to talk to the wife and figure out schedule and everything, So
Whatever. If
Well,
you want
I'll
to change
see.
your life,
I'll
we're
see.
here. And
Well,
if you
listen.
don't, then go live your life and
I
good
know.
luck.
I appreciate it. No, I appreciate the
Go to a
information.
registered rep.
Yeah.
Go to a registered rep and get ripped off with an annuity, and then call me about a year from now and go, Larry, you were right. Oh no. Okay. If you
Sounds
want,
good. I
if you want the
appreciate it,
show
guys. Go ahead.
after us, the show after us will be talking to you about annuities. You know why he sells annuities? Because he makes the most money. Because annuities are the most commission that any registered rep makes. So that's why they sell you annuities. Or you could come to me and I could teach you how to do what I just talked to you about, which is put $150,000 into an account and pull out $20,000 immediately and still have $150,000. But if that's not something you want to do, forget it.
He hung up.
I was going to say, moving on.
I
Moving
guess he
on.
was done.
I love it. All right. We got,
Omri's line dropped for some reason. Omri, you can call back.
well, let's get
obviously.
Mark. We got Mark in Philly, right?
Yeah, Mark and Philly.
What's up? What's up, Mark?
Yeah, Larry, can
Yeah.
you hear me?
I can hear you well. What's going on, man?
Yeah, that's my other phone ringing. Let me get to a private office. Yeah, I have a quick question. I listen to you folks all the time, know everybody by heart.
Cool.
But I do have a question. I don't know if it's off topic, but maybe you could explain this to me. I'm hearing a lot about that Letitia James up in New York.
Right.
I think she's the Attorney General in New York. And I'm Trump all the way, ride or die. Is she in trouble for what she did, what he exactly did, but he repaid the loans? Like, what's her problem?
It's a
because
di- it's
I'm a
different-
firm believer that if you poke the bull, sometimes you get the horns.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's a different case. So what she did was she got an FHA mortgage on so FHA mortgage is the type of mortgage that the government subsidizes. Well, I should say subsidizes, but it's a different interest rate, and
They back the loan.
And you could. Well, I'm sorry.
They back the loan, FHA.
Yeah, they
I would
back
imagine,
right. They back, but they also give you a lower percentage down. So like you could actually buy a house with 3.5%, but an FHA mortgage is only up to four units. So in other words, if it's a 5 unit, which is what she did, if it's a 5 unit, you can't get an FHA loan. So she got an FHA loan on a 5 unit, claiming it was a 4 unit. Okay. Now look, here's the thing, right? You said it exactly right. She poked the bear. So what Trump did was completely different. Trump said, "Here are my assets," and the bank said, "Okay, fine."
This is what they're worth.
Right, and the bank said, and by the way, I don't think Trump was that far off anyway. And the bank said, "Fine." The bank
I
has
get it. It's like if you have a Picasso and you say, "Hey, listen, this is worth $40 million." It's like,
Right.
All right, I guess.
Yeah, and if it has,
somebody's going to pay you,
and it has 5 fingers instead of 4 fingers or whatever, right? Right. You need to know. So the bank, when Trump did it, the bank has their obligation to look at this and underwrite it and say, yes, we believe these properties are worth this, or no. At the time, they said, yes, we believe it, no problem. It doesn't matter what he said they were.
Bing, bang, boom.
Right? Now, what she did was she intentionally chose to lie about a 4 or 5 unit. Now, and she knew, and so did the mortgage broker knew, that was the difference. So that's called mortgage fraud. What he did was not called mortgage fraud at all. What he did was, hey, I won a loan. They gave me the loan. I paid back the loan. Everything's fine. Now, here's what's going to happen. Now, most likely nothing's going to happen, but here's what it might be. It might be that somewhere along the way, this might have been a 4-family house, and it was converted to a 5-family house, and it was legally a 4-family house. I don't know. I found it fascinating because this is what we do. We talk about this stuff all the time. So I find that's probably the only reason I followed it or even cared about it. So So the question is, was it a 4-family house when she did it? Was it supposed to be a 4-family house? We don't know. But she opened her mouth. And she put her foot in her mouth, and now she has to deal with
the
it.
horns.
Right, now she has to deal with it.
It's actually the bull, Larry. At least if you poke the bull, you get the horns.
Absolutely.
The bear, I don't know.
She also
Maybe you
said
get
that
what
her-
he does in the woods.
She also said that her father was her husband on some paper.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, so,
right.
you know, there's some shady stuff going on here.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know, and then she also
There's some
said...
shady stuff. I hope
Yeah,
they
there's
drill
shady
down.
stuff.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't wish anybody bad, but, I mean, like I said, Trump, ride or die, but she actually, like you said, she could have lied, like straight up lied.
She obviously did.
So, listen, let's see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Just wanted to hear your opinion on it, of how it goes. Do you think it'll go to court?
I don't know. I mean, look, you know, part of Trump's
Somebody's going to want that.
part of Trump's presidency is revenge, and there's no doubt in my mind it's revenge. and I'm loving
he likes
watching it.
loyalty, as I do.
I'm love watching it.
I don't think it's revenge, but I think he's draining the swamp. You know what I mean?
But let me do this, Mark. I got one more call, and I got 2 minutes left to the show. So stop in and see us, and I'd love to talk to you about it some more. But I want to go quickly to Ben. What's going on, Ben?
Hi. I just wanted to say what I like listening to your show on my HD radio.
Well, great. We're happy that you listen to us, and you're from Michigan, right?
Yeah. I had a really quick question.
Make it quick.
About that. I don't know if you could.
Make it quick.
How can I get you guys all the way in Troy, Michigan?
So you can go to the Odyssey app, odyssey.com, AUDACY.com, and or you can just type in 1210 radio in your Google search, and you'll be able to get us there. So if that's what you want to do, just go to 1210 radio, and do a Google search. You'll be able to get it. And you also get, if you want to do a search on the Larry Steinhouse show, you'll also be able to get our back episodes too. And last week's episode was absolutely hysterical about the Hoover houses. So if you wanted to hear that, that's very funny too. But Ben, we really appreciate you listening on however you're listening. I appreciate that too. And that's for everybody, by the way. You don't have to listen to AM radio anymore. You can listen on the internet. You can listen on your phone. With just Odyssey, odyssey.com or Odyssey app, I believe it's an app, right, Glenn? Odyssey app?
Yeah. Or the website. You can do either
Yeah,
one.
on the website, right, exactly. So that's great, Ben. What are you doing today? Real quick. You got 20 seconds.
Can you put me on the next hour?
Yeah, we could probably do that. Hold on. We'll get back to you, but it'll be a little while before we get back to you. Okay, everybody. I so appreciate everybody. It's so awesome. I want to thank all the listeners for listening. I want to thank all the callers, even that strange guy from Florida for calling. I want to thank, of course, Alan and Ben. We'll talk to you in a little while. And we got Mark and everybody. So, oh, man.
I just want to say, while he's coughing over there, my daughter's listening. So, woohoo,
All
Maddie.
right.
I just want to say hi
Hey,
to
Abby.
Maddie.
Hey, Maddie, if you're listening too. And
Yeah.
Phil, if you're listening too. Phil is her husband.
Yeah.
All right. So go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. And you can take a complimentary class this Thursday. We're really excited about seeing you. Investorschooling.com. Take care, everybody. See you Thursday.
Hang on 1 second.
Sure.
This program is paid for by Investor Schooling. All opinions or statements expressed on the program are solely those of Investor Schooling or their guests and do not reflect the opinions of WPHT or Odyssey. All right, everybody, if you're listening on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, we'll be back in just a little while. We're in between shows right now. And as you guys know, we do this show, and then we do a second show on PHT at 2 o'clock, which is coming up. What?
No, go ahead.
No, I was just letting everybody know because you went silent. So, I don't want anybody to think that we're just forgot.
Yes, it is beautiful.
Yeah, I
right
can
now,
give it back
enjoy an
to you.
amazing
It's just
40%
commercials.
off installation. Visit
There you go.
kitchenmagic.com.
There's your commercial.
All right. Online consultation with a health
Sorry about that.
determine if appropriate restrictions.
Yeah, that guy told me he had one thing to say, that he likes the show. Now he wants to take over the show.
No, that's okay.
I've got him on hold. Do you want me to get his number or something? I think he
Yeah,
might be mentally
leave him there
disabled.
for a little while. We'll get back to him in a little while.
Dr. Peterson.
We'll get back to him in a
Are you
little
going
while.
to do the second hour?
Can he hear you? Can he hear me?
Can help. Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stoll.
He probably can hear me
Senior Vice
online, so I don't want to
President
talk.
of Men's
I don't
Sexual
want to talk.
Health at
No,
HIMSS.
he
I've helped many guys with ED. and it
I
has
just think
never
we're
been more
we're doing a nice thing
convenient to
talking
treat
to
than
him. Put
it
it
is
that
right
way.
now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com,
You got
can
it?
access a
I
full
did,
range
yeah.
of treatment options.
Do,
for
are
your
you doing the
including
second hour,
daily or
Larry?
as-needed
Yeah, we can do the
bloods
second
through
hour.
a 100%
Okay.
online process. If
Yeah, I
prescribed,
just
your
got the
medication is
energy
shipped to
from
you
the
for free.
callers.
Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Hey, this is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. Did you know that there are a lot of altruistic reasons that you should become a real estate investor? That's right, you get to rent houses to really nice people who need houses. And you know what? When there's a housing shortage and you have a house for them, they are so happy. I've actually gotten hugs from tenants. So come to investorschooling.com and you will learn how to be a landlord.
He's standing by and he's ready to talk to you again, okay?
All right, yeah, he's
This way,
probably
you can
not
get
going to talk
hugs
to him
from
for
your
about 5 or
tenants,
7
too.
minutes.
Go to investorschooling.com.
Here we go.
We'll see you Thursday night at 7 o'clock.
This program is paid for by Investor Schooling. All opinions or statements expressed on the program are solely those of Investor Schooling or their guests and do not reflect the opinions of WPHT or Odyssey.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. The Larry Steinhouse Show.
All right, everyone, good afternoon and welcome to the Larry Steinhouse Show. Hey, we're coming to you live from Investor Schooling headquarters in beautiful Bucks County, Pennsylvania. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse, CEO of Investor Schooling, and as you can tell, I'm fighting off a cold, and so is Dr. Deb, but that won't stop us from delivering some powerful insights into financial education that everyone can benefit from. Can you tell I did another one for ChatGPT?
Good for you. I'm impressed.
So a whole
I'm
other
impressed.
one, right? Today, we're diving into the exciting world of wealth creation. We'll explore how you can enhance your income through real estate investing, stock options trading, savvy stock market strategies. Ooh, a word like savvy. That's
Savvy.
pretty good.
Savvy.
And optimizing your retirement funds. If you have questions, we want to hear from you. And that phone number is
855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. Call us at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137.
We do need to get
I
a
won't
cut out
stop.
of him when he's not here.
That's 855.
Yeah, we need a cutout. That's exactly right.
939-1137.
Or a pillow.
All right.
It's 855-939-1137.
Even when he's not here, we can't shut him up.
I know. It still
horrible,
makes
right?
me laugh. I love
So
how
we'll-
he makes me laugh.
I know, exactly. So we call about anything, whether it's money, financial, even politics. I don't care. We're here to chat. And don't forget, we're live across social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Don't be shy. Leave us a comment and let us know you're watching. I'm thrilled to be joined by my amazing co-host, the
Amazing.
insightful Dr. Deb Anderson.
Amazing and
So,
insightful.
That you could tell that those are ChatGPT words.
Yeah, because you never would call me
Because I
that.
would never call you amazing or insightful. I would call you the most intelligent person in the room.
As he breaks up and starts coughing in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Great.
Anyway, all right.
Oh.
Of course, Army's not here today. And of course, our devoted, our devoted producer, Glenn Page, is ready to handle
Glenn
your
is
calls.
devoted. Glenn
He's
is devoted.
Yes,
He
he
is
is
devoted.
Handle your calls and bring you on the air to discuss anything from finances and real estate to the stock market and beyond. So give us this call at
855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. Call us at 855-939-1137. That's 855.
All right, he cut it off.
He cut it off, yeah.
All right, the Larry Steinhouse Show is brought to you by Investor Schooling, where we uncover financial wisdom you didn't know you needed. Ooh, I like
Financial
that.
wisdom, yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. Uncover financial wisdom you didn't know you needed. Ooh.
I know, I like that.
That might be a good tagline, right?
That's interesting,
We're all
yeah.
about practical learning, equipping you with the skills necessary for real estate investing, stock options, tax saving techniques, and paving your way to financial freedom. Our headquarters might be in Bucks County, but our online courses are empowering eager investors across the country. Ready to take action? RSVP for a free class at Thursday night at investorschooling.com. Let's embark on this journey to financial success together. Sniffles and all.
Okay.
I like that one.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, you guys know we've been using ChatGPT for our intro lately. And I change it every once in a while. I asked ChatGPT to write another intro. So, Deb.
Yes. What?
I'm sick.
I know. So am I. I was really trying hard to not, run to the bathroom a second ago and spit, but, I'll leave that,
You want to go you have to run to the bathroom?
No, because I get all this crap in my throat.
Spit. Oh, okay.
Spit.
I got it. Yeah.
What do you think I was talking about?
Take a bottle,
Ew. That's even worse.
What? Spitting in a bottle? No, it's terrible. I mean, it could be worse.
No.
There are other places that are really.
Okay. Anyway, let's move.
We could call you the Haktua girl. Debbie lost it on that one.
And I'm coughing in the process because I'm laughing so hard.
I would bet Glenn was cracking up on that too. Were you laughing on that too, Glenn?
That's funny.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All
okay.
right.
All right. So getting back to, you know what? Why don't we do this? Because why don't we go? So we had a caller from the last show who's still on the line. We're going to keep him on the line. Why don't we talk to Ben? So Ben, what is going on with you? Talk to me.
Okay. So, I was talking about my HD radio.
Right.
So, basically, you know what HD radio is, right?
Absolutely.
Or no?
I do.
Okay. So my question is how is 50,000 watts, that's your wattage range for WPHT, how can that go all the way to Troy, Michigan?
I have no idea.
On an AM radio.
I have no idea, but I would bet you. I would bet you. There goes Debbie. She's going to go Haktua in the bathroom. I would bet you that that you could find out more than I could because I used to be really into that stuff and I'm just not. So I don't know. It's a great question. But HD is a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But but anyway, listen, man. I appreciate you listening. I gotta wait for Debbie to come back. Isn't that funny? But I appreciate you listening, man. And if you want to, you could, like I said before, you could listen to us on Odyssey.com, or you could go to WPHT 1210, do a Google search. But hey, Ben, how old are you?
17.
You're 17? That's awesome. Do you go to school?
Yeah.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I haven't thought of that yet.
You haven't thought of that
People
yet? Okay.
ask me that all the time.
Okay, that's great. That's great, man. I think you're great. I think it's great that you're listening to this show. You want to own real estate when you grow up?
No.
Okay. All right, great. Well, I'm going to let you go back to what you're doing and listening to the show, and we're going to continue our show. I really appreciate you calling, Ben. You sound like a great guy. Give yourself a pat on the back for calling in.
Okay. And also, I just want to give a shout out to everyone at WPHT, from Kale and Company to Don Stenslin, Rich Zioli, Dom Giordano, everyone. Matt
Don't forget
Rooney.
Gary Arnell. Gary Arnell's our friend.
Gary's nice. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's a Democrat, but he's a nice guy.
I know. I saw that post that he put up recently.
He's such a Democrat.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
I think it's funny. He's like a Democrat. I don't know if he's in the closet or not, but he's like, whatever. But whatever. Anyway, I digress.
Well, yeah. But thank you, Ben. We appreciate that.
So I think we should talk a little bit about our Love 27 event that's coming up.
Oh, the event, yes. We talked about Love 27 a little bit on the last show, but yeah, we should. Why don't you go ahead and talk?
So we have a Love 27 event that's coming up. When is it? It's like June 11th?
Don't forget, you got to tell them what Love 27 is now.
Oh, because we're on a whole new show. So Love 27, I always say this is like Larry always talks about, buying real estate and getting yourself, financially secure that way. But we always talk about when you're a landlord, the rent's due on the 1st, it's late on the 2nd, there's a $150 late fee or whatever fee it is on the 5th, and then we evict on the 15th. But what he decided to do was give back, and it's a different way of looking at it for people who have had some kind of life happen to them where their spouse got sick and they had to take off work for a little bit, or they broke their leg, or they got laid off from their job or something happened where they're unable to pay the rent. So what he did is he started this charity to help people get out of that like little mess that you might have gotten into, where we pay for the rent for 1 or 2 months, up to 2 months, provided they're still able to pay the rent after that. So this is this charity. There you go. So there's this charity, Lev 27, and Lev means heart in Hebrew, for those of you who don't know, and it's from Leviticus, which is all about, saving homes or something. I don't know. It's whatever. I'm not a good Bible person. And then now you got me coughing too. So what we do is we have this charity. So we have this charity, and we've already helped a couple of people to stay in their homes, which is really great. And all the money, 100% of all the donations goes to the charity. Nobody keeps anything for anything. So it's really great. There's no overhead involved. And we are having our next event, and our next event, I think, is what? Is it June 11th?
June 11th.
June 11th. It's going to be
Newtown Brewery.
At the Newtown Brewery, which is about 5 minutes away from here. And it's going to be at 6 o'clock, and it's free to attend. So free. So for those people who don't know what free means, free means you don't pay anything to get in there.
Free beer and free food.
Free beer and free food. And I have to cater it. I have to figure that out.
And we have good food, too. We get good food.
Yeah, we used to get good. We actually had you didn't like the caterer last time, did you?
No, I think I might want to go back to MEI.
They were terrible. Yeah, that's all fine. We'll talk about it offline. Oh, sorry. I didn't say that. Nobody heard that. That doesn't matter. Anyway, so we are having a free event. And what's nice is that if you like breweries, you could try all the beer for free. So it's, how you can get a flight when you go to like a little microbrewery, you get a flight of beers and you could try all the different beers. And you could try all of them, on us. So at least have fun and goof off. And then we're going to have a raffle. We'll have, dinner with me. Door prizes, raffles.
I'm going to be giving away a dinner with me at Capitol Grill for a couple.
Okay.
So maybe 2 people. I don't know. So a Capitol Grill dinner, which is $250 or more.
Yeah.
You'll get to pick a wine from my wine locker at Capitol Grill, and so it'll be a really nice dinner.
Okay.
And so that'll be one of the things that we're going to be raffling off.
Yeah. And then I think you were raffling off a dinner with me, weren't you?
Yeah, but that's for single guys.
Oh, okay.
But just don't tell Phil.
All right, I won't tell Phil. He won't care. He's, he doesn't care anyway. So it's all good. So yeah, we're gonna have. I'm sorry, we're gonna have like a 50-50, and we'll have a couple of the raffles. We'll have a couple things. We're already starting to get donations from some local restaurants and a couple things. I have to go pick up a couple things, so we'll have that going on too. But again, it's free to come, so make sure to sign up. You can go to lev27.org. Again, that's lev27.org, and it'll be a fun event, so we really encourage you to come. And again, it's like 5 minutes away from here in Newtown if you're local. If you're not, come anyway, because it's not going to be that far of a drive for you. And if not, we'll put you, you could sleep on the floor at the school or something.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's actually a hotel right down the road.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting everybody listening to this show to go to lev27.org and sign up. I mean, it's free. Just go. We're not even talking about real estate anymore. We're talking about having a good time.
Yeah.
Having drinking some beer and just having a really good time. So come and enjoy. And if you come and enjoy, you'll have a good time. I promise.
Yeah, and then you get to meet us too. A lot of people like to meet us, and then they realize that between Larry and me and Omri, like what you see on the radio is who we really are in real life. People are always surprised that they think we put on a show, and this is completely unscripted. So when you come in, you'll get to meet all of us, and you'll see that we interact like this all the time because we just goof off.
The funniest thing is like when Omri, Debbie, and I all go out to dinner and we bring our spouses.
They get so frustrated with us.
They're so frustrated because we're doing the show.
Yeah,
and it's funny. We don't. It's like this is just us.
Yeah,
we come in here. We come in here on Saturday. We sit down.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of conversation. Sometimes the pre-show is funnier than the show.
Yeah.
And we have a conversation. Then we just have another conversation on the air. So this is what we do. This is who we are. And when you're in the same room with us, you see that you actually experience us again.
Yeah.
We're funny and we're caring. And Deb is always keeping us on track.
Yeah, I'm still keeping.
And when Deb's out, we're not on track. It's funny. Sometimes I'm doing a presentation and I go off track, and if Deb's not there, I go, "Oh, good, Debbie's not here. I can keep going."
Yeah. And then sometimes the students will step in and say, Larry, get back on track. This is what I hear. I don't know, but this is what I've heard that from a couple of students.
Yeah, so it's very, very funny.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I wanted to say hello to a couple people listening online. Of course, we got Kimmy listening online. We got Sal. We got Maddie. Ooh, Maddie's still listening.
Maddie's still listening. I'm so excited. So Maddie just moved into my youngest kid, just moved out on her own last Saturday. So I'm very excited for her.
Yeah.
And she had a little bit of a mishap yesterday. She called me up. So we hung out for a little bit last night, which was fun because I always like hanging out with my kids. It's always fun. because they don't live at home anymore, so it's nice to see them. And my youngest Maddie moved 5 minutes away, which is really nice. I'm glad she moved so close. Anyway, I'm going to tell you, a couple years ago when they were little, it was late at night. It was like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and we were living in Bristol. We were living at our house in Bristol, and the drawers that we had, the drawers in the kitchen, is before we redid our kitchen, they were crappy drawers, And Phil, my husband, was trying to super glue them together, like the sides fell off, or I don't know, something happened, I don't remember. And I didn't know that he was doing it, so he left them on our countertop. So I went to grab it, and the drawer fell on my big toe and broke my toe. So
Ouch.
And it was before I met you. Like, you didn't know anything about this. It was before I met you, and I just
Well,
howled.
even if it was after you met me, I still wouldn't be able to do anything about your toe.
No, I know, but it was just like, I howled, like, in pain. It was so painful. And the girls were sleeping, and so Phil scoops me up and puts me in the car. I know, it was neat. So he scooped me up like it was nothing, which was great. It made me feel nice and light. Puts me in the car, and we wake up our kids to go to the hospital because, like, I was in really a lot of pain.
Right.
So we go, and then we go to the hospital, and like I said, they can't do anything when you break your big toe. Blah blah blah. Anyway, so fast forward to last night. And, me and Maddie hung out for a little bit, and then, she went home. I'm like, hey, come stay for dinner. And no, I want to go home. I'm like, whatever. So she goes home, and we're sitting there watching TV. Phil's asleep on the couch, and my phone rings, and it's her. I'm like, hey, what's up? And she calls me up in tears. I dropped something on my foot. Oh my God, I think it's broken. Wow. Bob, can you come over? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there in 5 minutes, And almost at the same exact spot where I broke my big toe, she dropped this battery for like some power tool on her foot because it didn't click in right, and she was just like laying on the floor with ice on her foot. Wow. So
I hope you feel better, Maddie, but
yeah.
I find that story very interesting. It's interesting that it was the same kind of story.
So it was just kind of funny. So yeah.
All right, Deb.
Yes.
Let's get into something financial, real estate.
Well, we should do something about the money hacks.
Yeah, we did that too. Oh, Kimmy said she won the top prize last fundraiser. It was so much fun.
How cool.
I don't remember what the top prize was last fundraiser.
I don't know. There was dinner with you. There was 50-50. We had a lot of stuff. We had a lot of baskets, too. There was a lot of stuff.
It was definitely fun.
Yeah, it was fun. There was a lot of stuff.
It's just a great time, And again, come. I don't care if you don't buy any raffle tickets. It don't matter. Just come, have a good time.
You know what was great is that one of the guys who won, they had, because we got something from Starbucks, and they gave us, those cups, where you can, the not disposable, but you fill them up with whatever. So I ended up putting like 4 or 5 gift cards in them.
Right.
In one, so that they won like 4 or 5 different gift cards to like a place to eat. Nice. And they ended up taking me out to dinner like a month or two later from one of the gift cards that we won.
That's neat.
So
that's
it was fun.
That's excellent. Cool.
It was fun.
They didn't take me out for dinner.
Well, people like me more than they like you.
Well, that's obvious. I know that.
Because I'm nice.
That's what it was. So she won the 50-50 is what she won.
Okay, yeah.
And she donated it back, which is pretty cool. I really appreciate that too.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, now.
Do you want to do money hacks, or you want to wait till?
Good.
Well, money. So we were talking a little bit about Lev 27, but I also want to talk a little bit about money hacks. We have some really great speakers coming. We actually had this one speaker. I saw her speak at our Tampa event, the Money Game Live event, Isabel Guarino, I think. And she talks about assisted living as a business and an investment opportunity. And I have to tell you, she blew my mind. Like she is so smart. I think her father was in the business, and I think he's since passed, but her and I guess her sisters do it.
Partners with him.
Oh, and she was phenomenal. Like she was a really great speaker, just a really strong speaker, really knows her stuff, really, really interesting. And when we saw her speak, we're like, we need to have her speak at our event. And she will be coming, so she's going to be at our event. And then we have a couple other people.
She's going to be teaching. So real quick, just to go back to the beginning. So this is a full-day event. We do this about once a quarter. It's a full-day event on Saturday. And we have a full day of different speakers, people that normally speak for us. And they come and they teach you different things. Matter of fact, if you want to, the web address is 4mmw.com, 4mmw.com. And right now, if you use the coupon code WPHT, you can go for free.
Oh, okay.
So WPHT, you can go for free. If you use the coupon code WPHT, you can go for free because it's only for our listeners or Or,
But you have to come. I mean, don't.
Yeah. Please don't get a ticket if you're not going to come because
you have to come.
That really messes up the whole thing. And if you want to, you can also buy the VIP dinner, and the VIP dinner is dinner with the speakers.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend that too if you can go. So go to 4mmw.com, mmw4mmw.com. But okay, so Isabella, we also have Sophie Ash coming.
Sophie Ash is coming.
She's going to talk to you about.
She's more like a mindset. She's more like a mindset coach. Yeah.
But more than mindset, more about relaxation and how to calm yourself down. We saw her speak at your medical.
I'm a medical writer, so I have an American Medical Writers Association. So I put on the freelance conference with two of my other colleagues, and Sophie was one of the speakers there, and she really did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
So she's coming in. I think she's out on the West Coast, I believe, and she's going to be flying in.
Canada.
Oh, she's in Canada?
Yeah, who
am I thinking
We got to
of?
be careful that she doesn't get deported.
Oh, shut up. You're such a dork.
Really?
No, she's just such a dork. But no, Sophie's really nice. Actually, I met her actually at National AMWA, and then I saw her speak at our events a month or two. I don't know. I think it was in January or February. I forget. And she did a really fantastic job, and she's really skilled. She's really skilled. So we're gonna have her as a speaker also. And then who else do we have? We have
the funny part is we have
Devin's coming in.
Devin Burr, right?
Devin Burr's coming in, and that guy, oh my gosh, is so full of energy. And I'm hoping that he starts talking a little bit about his story, because he was talking about how he was in a room, crazy in debt. He was taking care of his daughter. I don't know what happened, but he was taking care of his daughter, and just in tears on the floor, trying to figure out what to do with his life because he was just hit rock bottom. And he talks about how he came back to life, and now he is multi-millionaire. He's very successful, and he's just really his story is just really incredible.
Yeah.
And he's he's an infinite banking guy, and he talks a little bit about how to use it in different ways. And he's just a dynamic speaker. He's a really nice guy. I've met him on a number of occasions, and he's always just like super nice, really nice guy.
And I added another speaker on Friday.
And
it's
who?
not on the website yet.
Who?
Joel Kraut.
Joel Kraut. Okay.
Yeah, Joel Kraut he talks about the best way to say is inspirational.
He always talks about really interesting things.
Right.
Yeah,
and he's a really good guy.
Yeah.
Mortgage broker, really good mortgage broker, and he's very inspirational. And I think you guys will love it. But go to 4mmw.com. That's 4mmw.com. Sign up. Use the coupon code WPHT, and you get to go for free.
Yeah, and
PHT rhymes with free, right?
There you go. And what I like about Joel actually is because considering he's a mortgage broker, he's actually very approachable. He's really easy to talk to. Because lots of times you get some of these people who are just really hard to talk to, and Joel is like very. You can just go up and he's a good guy. You can go up, have a conversation with him, and he's very open and just, and all these speakers are. You just have a conversation because lots of times it's just they're kind of shut off, and
that's why you want to go to the VIP dinner.
Yeah.
You go to VIP dinner, you get to sit with the speakers. And I tell you what, sometimes sitting with the speakers is really great because you learn a lot of things that you didn't know before.
Yeah, you got a lot of little tidbits that you don't necessarily hear on stage.
All right.
So again, the number 4mmw.com. Again, the number 4mmw.com. And we encourage you to sign up, and the code is WPHT.
So since we're doing kind of advertising for a change, which we don't usually do.
I know, but you always forget.
But that's okay. I'm glad. I actually want to let somebody else know. We have a digital copy of my book, Money Hacks, and they can get a digital copy if you take out your phone and you send a text message to 26786. 26786 is the number. You send it to that number. You send the word HACKS, HACKS. You get a free digital copy of my book. So it's 26786. Text the word HACKS, and I will immediately send you a copy. It's automated, so I could be on the air while I'm doing it.
I didn't know you had that set up. Good for you.
It's funny. I finally set it up. It's one of those things that I should have done a long time ago.
Yeah, I would think.
But I set it up because I thought it would. People want copies, and I have a digital copy, so they can go to 26786. Type the word HACKS. And they can get a digital copy. So I'm really hoping that some of you guys do that and get the digital copy.
And then you can also go to Odyssey now. It's on. You have the. It's on. You had somebody It's on Odyssey now. Your book, you can pay for it, but you.
Oh no, you're talking about the book. You're talking about the audiobook.
The audiobook.
Yeah, it's on Audible.
Oh, it's on Audible.
So you can get the audiobook too on Audible, and you get the audiobook on Audible. You can order the book on Amazon, and I'm going to tell you, it's funny. I keep getting great comments. Like people will write to me, send me emails. Hey, I read your book. I learned so much. I can't believe there's a book like this. And it's funny, when I wrote the book, I was like, yeah, okay, I wrote another book. And, I didn't realize how good it was going to be. And I mean, I'm saying that not because...
No, you're getting a lot of traction on
I
this
think
book.
because I'm getting a lot of people give me great
traction.
compliments on it and the things that they learned.
Yeah.
I get my whole $4 when you order one. So I
know,
really don't care.
I'm waiting for you to do the revised version where you actually put me in it.
Oh, that was such a bad story.
I know.
I forgot to put Debbie. I mentioned everybody unimportant. Well, I mentioned my wife. That's not unimportant.
Well, of course
She got mad at what I said too. I said something about here. Let me see. Because watch, I gotta tell you what I wrote, and then she got mad at me, and I don't understand why she got mad at me. But let me see if I can find it.
Oh, I don't know.
If I could find what it was, because she didn't like what I said.
Yeah, but he puts everybody else in there.
Mostly, I would like to recognize my wife, Linda Steinhouse, who has to put up with my crap at home and at work.
I don't think that's insulting.
She found that very insulting.
No, I don't find that insulting.
So, if you're a woman and you're listening to the show, let me know why this was insulting. Because, as a man, you know what men, how much men understand about women?
Little, very little.
As much as a dead gnat. Right?
Well, I say things to Larry sometimes. He'll say something to me, and I'm
going
like,
to say it again, just so everybody can hear it. Mostly, I would like to recognize my wife, Linda Steinhouse, who has to put up with me. Has to put up with my crap at home and at work, because she used to work for us too. So that was what it said, and she was really mad at me for that. So let me know why she was mad at me. The phone. Why don't we give the phone number one more time?
855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. Call us at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. I won't stop. That's 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137.
That gets me every time.
And that's it. All right. Let's go to commercial now, and hopefully I'll hear from some people and tell me why my wife thought that was very insulting. Hi, this is Larry Steinhouse, and I want to tell you about a charity we formed called Lev 27. Lev 27 is a charity that helps people stay in their homes.
She was more upset
than
you were
sometimes life
about
happens.
being left out.
Many people live paycheck to paycheck.
Well, I'm upset because you left me out.
And they can't afford to pay their rent. We will step in and help them.
We're
We'll
running
even
a book
cover
together
any
right now,
legal
so that's
fees
fine.
to keep them in their home. Go to lev27.org. That's lev27.org to find out how you can help or make a donation. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Larry Steinhouse, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy
I'm
houses
gonna be
from
first.
people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137. Hi, this is Larry Steinhouse, and I want to tell you about a full-day event we're having on Saturday, June 14th. Not only will you learn stock options and real estate, but you'll also learn asset protection, you'll learn how life insurance really works, and so much more. To sign up for this event, go to 4mmw.com. That's the number 4mmw.com. And I'll tell you what, if you put in the coupon code WPHT, you're going to get a free ticket. That's it, 4mmw.com, coupon code WPHT. Hey, this is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. Did you know that we have a radio show right here on WPHT every Saturday at 1 o'clock? It's called The Larry Steinhouse Show. And you want to listen to this show because it's a live show and you can call in. In fact, here's the call-in number.
855-939-1137.
And when you call in, you can ask us questions about real estate, the stock market, even politics. Make sure you tune in Saturday, 1 o'clock. This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor
30
Schooling.
seconds unless
Did
you
you
want
know
a
that
little
there
more.
are so
No,
many
you're
different
good.
ways to prepare for retirement, and annuities are not the answer? Come learn this Thursday by taking a free class on investor schooling. Come to investor schooling and you will learn so many different ways that you can make more money in retirement than you actually expected to. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday. That's investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. We'll see you there.
This program is paid for by Investor Schooling.
You're back.
All right, everybody. My voice is going in and out. Welcome back to the Larry Steinhouse Show. I'm here with my awesome co-host, Dr. Deb Anderson, who actually is getting to talk today.
I know. I never get to talk this
Omri's
much.
not here.
That's what happens when he's gone. I actually get to.
You actually get to talk.
I actually get to talk. People actually get to hear me.
There he goes.
Glenn's like, not happening. Glenn's like, no, not today.
I thought it would be funny if he cut you off.
Yeah.
He did.
No, it was.
There
It
you
was
go,
funny.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I actually get to talk. You
so
remember there was a time when it was just me and you on the radio show, and I
Hey,
actually
there
got
was
to
a time
talk.
when it was me and somebody else, and there was a time when it was just me.
Yeah.
And then I brought you in a couple of times, and we had a great chemistry.
Yeah.
And then I got to tell you,
No, the
it's
three
always
of us.
good.
No, the
The
three of us.
The
Yeah.
chemistry between the three of us.
Yeah, it's good.
I go home in stitches. I go up hysterical because it is so funny. The show is so funny. But we're doing a really good job today.
Yeah.
But beside the fact that we're sick, right?
Yeah.
We're doing a good job and we're sick. So I think it's okay.
Yeah. All right. It's all good.
So I'm getting a ticking noise.
Yeah, I'm hearing the ticking noise.
So we're getting that ticking noise, Glenn. I just want to make sure it's not being transmitted. If anybody else, if you hear the ticking noise online, let us know.
Yeah.
We know a way to fix it, but we have to go to a commercial to fix it. But if you're not getting a ticking noise, we'll leave it alone.
You still got it?
I still have it.
I still have it.
We have to go to Access 5 in order to fix it. But I'd rather not do that. So let's see. So if anybody hears
I'm not hearing it.
You're not hearing it?
No, I'm not. I'm not hearing it.
Okay.
So I don't know if the people online are hearing it. They might be hearing it. So if you're online, if you're listening, Kimmy, if you're listening, just let me know if you hear the ticking noise.
Yeah.
If you don't, we'll keep going. If you do, we'll fix it. But all right. So so we had caught before. It's so annoying, isn't it?
It is actually. It's really annoying.
So annoying. You know what, Glenn? Go to a commercial. We're gonna go to Access 5. All right.
You got it.
Kimmy says she hears it.
Hi, this is Larry. This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. Did you know that you can buy real estate with absolutely
we'll be right back.
money out of your... All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Glenn. Uh-oh. Hold on. Learn how to make money at closings and learn how to make a monthly income. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. Take your complimentary class this Thursday. Hi, this is Larry Steinhouse, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly.
Hey, why don't you text him?
Yeah, I will. All right.
He hears us. He hears us.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Glenn? Can you hear me?
Glenn, we cannot hear you. He said he can. You see it on the left?
Yeah, now we're getting the echo too. I hear you, but not the way we can hear. All right, see if you can fix it. If not, we'll go back to 6. I'm hearing an echo. I'm not sure what the echo is. All right, so I think we're gonna have a problem. I'm gonna go back to 6. Okay, I'm back on 6. And so much more. Sign up for this event. Go to 4mmw.com.
No, the ticket's
That's the number
still there.
4mmw.com.
Give me a second.
All right. Tell you what, if you put in the coupon code WPHT, you're going to get a free ticket.
Yeah, I think we might have to keep it on
4mmw.com.
All right.
Live with the ticking for the last.
All right, bring us
That's
back.
30 minutes.
Whatever, we'll have to have the ticking. That's fine. Only 20 more minutes.
Did you know that you can buy
I
real
could-
estate
I
with
couldn't talk to you
absolutely
guys.
no
I don't
money
know
out of
what
your
that was
pocket?
about.
That's right.
Yeah, it's something.
Listen to our
everyone's wrong.
show,
Happens
or if you've read my book, Money Hacks, I talk about how to buy real estate with absolutely no money out of your pocket. You should come this Thursday night
It
to a
might be
complimentary
something with
class
how they
at
have
Investor Schooling
Access
and
5
learn more.
configured.
Learn how to buy
I'm not
properties
sure.
with no
Yeah,
money.
that's fine.
Learn how to make money.
Well, we can
at
go to the
closing.
emergency
All right.
one. You want to go
Learn
to the
how make
emergency
a
one?
monthly income. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
I have
Get
you
your
ready to come
complimentary
back.
class This Thursday.
All right, I'll come back.
This program is paid for by Investor Schooling.
All right, it's Larry Steinhouse. We're back. My apologies to you guys on Facebook. We could not get rid of ticking, So, is it still there?
It's still there.
It's still there. Yeah, I'm deaf, so I don't hear it.
Lucky.
No, now I hear it. Yeah, now I hear it. Okay, so I apologize, you guys. It's just what it is. It's going to be. We had a problem going to the other channel. You're just trying to fix it, but that's life. That's all we can do. So if you're listening, just put up with the ticking. We only got 20 more minutes to the show anyway, and we appreciate you listening. So thank you so much. And if you're listening on the radio, give us a call and tell me why my wife was mad at what I said. That was so long ago that I got to read it again. So my wife said she was mad when I acknowledged her in the book, and the acknowledgement was, hold on, let me see if I can read it again, if I can find it again. Where did I put it?
It should be on the first page or two, I think.
You would think, right? But no, it's way too difficult. Oh, here it is. Okay. Mostly, I would like to recognize my wife, Linda Steinhouse, who has put up away crap at home and at work. So she was really mad at me that I wrote that, and I as a man, I don't understand that.
As a woman, I didn't find it offensive or mad. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. I think I would just kind of chuckle at it. But then again, I'm not the typical woman, as I am told by you guys all the time.
Yeah, you're not a typical woman.
I am not a typical woman.
You're like one of the guys.
I'm like one of the guys.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so.
You know, so, you know, that's why Omri still looks at your heart all the time.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here comes the coughing. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll try not to cough. All right, so, wow.
If you guys die on the air, that'll be great
my gosh.
for ratings.
I know. What if we die in the air?
Throw me a bottle of water. Throw me a bottle of water.
Hold on a second. I gotta give Debbie a bottle of water. Hold on.
Please don't die on the air.
Thank you. I'm sorry. There's the two of us. It's like awful.
I know. But if we die in the air, would that be like memorable? Would you guys remember?
How would you stop it? Don't even talk that way. What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
That's
Glenn
terrible.
wait, I don't understand. Glenn brought it up and you're mad at me?
Yeah, but you're just going with it. Glenn, don't say stuff like that. That's terrible.
I'm sorry.
Man,
See that?
we don't even have anybody
I
calling
love you
about
guys.
race.
You know I wouldn't want anything bad to happen.
All right.
Well, of course not, because we have to go to lunch in 2 weeks. And you know, and
Glenn's expecting Larry to pay, so you know he just wants a free lunch.
Yeah.
So Kimmy says online, she says that she doesn't understand why either. Why she was offended? Why?
Yeah, I don't think it was offensive. I don't think anything about it was offensive.
I mean, it was much more offensive to leave you out.
Yeah, that was. I have to say I am a little frustrated about that.
That was just I don't know what it was. It was
Yeah.
just
So I think when
timing, I don't know.
You know, I think at some point when you update the book, you know, hopefully soon you'll put me in and take some of the other people out.
I just ordered 500 copies.
I know, but you know,
I should have fixed it then, huh?
You should have. I mean, because you know, I'm an important person in your life.
I should have wrote, "Thank you, Dr. Deb. If it wasn't for you, this place would have closed 3 years ago."
There you go.
Which is really true.
Okay.
So it really is true. If Dr. Deb didn't join us, we probably would have closed 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Because I can't do it all, and Dr. Deb has been like great. I mean, so if you guys ever come to the school, you know that Dr. Deb is the glue that holds this place together. Omri is the hammer that keeps hitting the bricks to break them.
Which is actually not a lie.
I know, exactly. Right. So, and then we have other team members, which is kind of cool too.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So it's funny. So Ben is saying that it's cool that he can hear us when we talk during the commercials, which is the truth. Because what happens is when we go to commercial, the people on Facebook, we're still live.
We're still playing.
But
we're still live.
on the air, we're not. Okay. So somebody asked a question. I think it was about the
El
Van
Salvador.
Holden going to El Salvador. You know what? I got to be honest with you. I don't care. You know what? If that guy wants to commit political suicide and go to try to get back an illegal immigrant who is a murderer and a thief and a criminal and a crook, well, that's fine. You know, that just goes to show you what that side's all about.
You know, I have to tell you, when I read that, I was instantly angry, and I was actually going to say something on Facebook, but I usually try to I minimize any political posts on Facebook because a lot of my friends are Democrats. So I have a couple girlfriends coming over tonight. So politics is off the table because they're both Democrats, you know, so we just don't discuss it, you know.
You mean you can't have a conversation, go, hey, listen, I want to shake you guys up a little bit and let you guys know that you're on the opposite side of common sense. I just don't
want to go there.
Yeah, I know.
I just don't want to go there. But I have to tell you, when I read that, this guy, his wife had like restraining orders against him. He trafficked people.
Yeah, right.
You know, it was part of that gang, and he's illegal to begin with.
Right.
So the fact that this moron went over to El Salvador I was livid. When I read that, I was like instantly angry. And I actually started writing something, and I'm like, nope, I'm not going there because I try to keep my Facebook.
It's unbelievable. I mean,
yeah, I was angry. I was really angry.
The Democrats are definitely on the side of all evil. If it's evil, they're on the side of it. So just think of anything evil, they're on the side of it.
You know, the other thing that really irritated me was like 10 years ago or something, Nancy Pelosi was all about the tariffs.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
The Democrats are all about the tariffs.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you have video of her saying how unequal it is.
Right.
But now that Trump's doing it, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of stuff just really irritates me.
And how insulted are you that, as a Jew, how insulted, because I'm a Jew too, how insulted are you that they're calling Elon Musk a Nazi? It's so insulting. I want to reach out and just grab somebody and say, what is wrong with you?
So
don't you understand what a Nazi is? You know, this is not a Nazi. Just because, he touched his heart and he put his hand out, that makes him a Nazi. Are you insane?
I really watch myself when it comes to stuff that way because I have family that I've lost in the Holocaust.
Right.
So I really just try to, because if I start to get emotional, I get emotional when it comes to staffs.
I would love to build a time machine and take anyone calling Elon Musk a Nazi and Trump Hitler and put them in that time machine and have a Jewish star tattooed on their arm and say, yeah, go find out what a Nazi is.
Yeah, so see how emotional and angry you're getting?
Yes.
So I get the same way. So when it comes to that stuff, I really try to keep an even.
I know it's hard for me because it bugs me so much.
So it is hard for me too. But when it comes to that, like for some reason, like when it comes to that, I really try to. I don't want to discuss it because I know I'll get upset about it. So.
Yep. But then again, these are the people who don't know the difference between boys and girls. So I understand they don't know the difference between a Nazi and a normal person.
Oh my gosh, have you seen that all these women are refusing to go to play against sports against the
That's
Canterman?
fantastic. Congratulations.
I'm so excited. So there was a fencer who did it. There was somebody who was doing the bow and arrow thing she was doing.
Yep,
There's
yep.
somebody who was shooting pool. She refused. Like all these women are standing up and refusing to do it, and I'm so excited about it. Like I'm so excited about it. And it's interesting because one of my friends who's coming over tonight, like her daughter's she's on the college wrestling team, and you know if it comes up, I'm gonna be like, how would you like it if your daughter was fighting against a trans, man who is, her daughter would get killed. You know what I mean? Like, or, in some severe danger for that, wrestling. I'm like, so when I'm hoping it just doesn't come up, but if she does, I'm going to throw that in her face.
There was a sport, I think it was vaulting, that two trans men are competing against each other as the finalists. I mean, come on, really?
I know. I think there was something else where it was. I think it was another pool championship. It was a women's pool championship, and the two finalists were
that's
two
what it was.
Two transgender men. It's just like what? This is a woman's freaking sport.
Exactly.
That stuff really irritates me.
We're all for women's rights, except when it comes to women's rights. What?
And then they have to share the same locker room. I'm like, I don't want to undress in front of some man. I don't want to see what he. Like this. I just. Like the whole idea just irritates me.
It's disgusting in so many ways.
And I hate to say this, I'm so grateful my kids are out of school now.
Yeah,
so that they're not involved in this crap anymore. Because because let me tell you, you hear about those mama bears going crazy. I'm one of those. You mess with my kids and I'm on top of you. You know what I mean? So I would go off if that happened at where they were going to school in a heartbeat. I'd be the mom that they didn't want to hear from anymore.
Oh, you know. So. I'm so glad I didn't have kids during COVID. If I had kids during COVID, I'd still be in jail. Well, Trump would pardon me now, but I would still be in jail.
Yeah.
Because if I found out that the teacher was making my kid put a mask on, or the rumor was forcing them to get an injection for that garbage COVID vaccine that kills people, I would still be in jail. All right. Anyway, Roscoe says that he knows why my wife is upset. What's up, Roscoe?
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
Well, I'm not going to give you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Hello? Okay. I hesitate to give you advice because I've made my share of bloopers as well. However, what you wrote was okay to say, I think, from a woman's view, many women's view, but to put it in writing, you might have been, if next time you're going to say something like that in writing, I think maybe you should be a little more appreciative other than putting up with your crap. You know, there's got to be more qualities than that.
But it's classic Larry, though, too. I think
that's what
the
it is.
thing.
I think
It's classic Larry.
right?
So.
But he's right. I get it. So it's funny because I said I didn't get it, but I did get it. So I should have said something like, "And thank you for my wife for supporting me in everything I do. I love you very much." Right? That's what I should have said, right?
Well, somewhere between that and some real things, like she supports you in your endeavors and she gives you advice when you're a bonehead, stuff like that.
Oh,
something that gives her a little more credence other than just putting up with your crap.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. And Roscoe, you're like, you're one of those sensitive guys, huh?
Not really. Most people call me a bastard, but I do have feelings. You really get to know me. I'm quite the opposite, but I do have some insights from making my own bonehead moves.
There you go. I think we all do. So, what do you think of our show?
Yeah, I think it's great. I really enjoy it.
Cool. Do you listen to it often?
I like stocks. I like to talk.
I
like stocks. Yeah.
So what do you want to know about stocks since you got my attention?
Well, you gave an example about you write covered calls.
Yep.
You sell covered calls, and you took a loan out.
I know I didn't take a loan out. I took real money. It's not even a loan. It was real money.
Yeah, you took money, but that seems cool if Boeing doesn't go up too much.
It doesn't matter if it goes up.
Your position.
It doesn't matter if it goes up.
Okay.
Because I took the $20,000. It's mine, right? If Boeing goes up, the worst that happens is I lose the stock. So what? What did I lose? Nothing.
Right. You lose the stock.
Larry called me last week because I had a stock option play on Boeing, and he called me up at home, and I'm working on something. He's like, "Sell your Boeing right now," and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Get on there and sell it."
She had a call, and it was she was up like 80%.
It was like 60%, 61%. I was up. He's like, "Sell it right now." I'm like, "Okay, hold on."
But the thing is, so Roscoe, this is the thing. People get confused on how stock options selling calls work, right? You got to remember, all you did was limit your upside, but you guaranteed money. You can't lose money.
Right.
The $20,000 I made, I can never lose that $20,000, right? And the stock, even if the stock goes up, now if the stock goes up a substantial amount of money, I could buy that call back and sell another one and make another $20,000. I might buy that call back at 16 and sell another $20,000. So I actually made $4,000 on that transaction too. So it actually really works out really well, especially if you follow what we're teaching.
Right. Well, it was a win-win because Boeing went down.
Well, so I bought Boeing at 137. I originally sold the call at 145, and then Boeing went up to 160. I bought the call back, and then sold the call again. So I actually made $2,500 on top of the $20,000.
Wow. So you want to keep it now because you think it's going to go down more?
I don't care. I don't care. I'm holding out. I mean, if it goes up to like 170, 180, I might buy the call back and sell it again. But in this range right now, it's at 160. I got $10. I got $10 per contract, right? So if I got $10 per contract, I got $10,000 per. I got $10 per contract. No, per share. I don't remember. Per share, whatever it was. I got $10 per share, right? So $20,000. So I got $10 per share, right? So I don't care if it goes up or down right now. If it stays there, if it goes up from 155, which is my strike price, to 160, that's a $5 difference. I got $10. So what do I care?
Yeah. Well, you're like an orchestrator leader, so you got it down.
I'm just looking to make money.
Complicated for most people.
Right. Yeah, I'm just looking to make money. When I teach it, if you, I don't know if this is something you do, great. But if you really want to learn the strategy that I'm using, you could come to Investor Schooling. I'm going to for the next 3 weeks. So everybody who's listening, for the next 3 weeks, I am going to be concentrating on stock options only, really, really strong. Like I'm going to be going from the beginning, how the stock market works, to what a call is, what a put is, what a covered call is, the strategies, how to examine calls, how to examine puts. I mean, if there was ever a time to take a free class at Investor Schooling, now is the time to take it, because on this Thursday, I am going to be concentrating on on the stock market and for the next 3 weeks, and it's going to be a great thing. So Roscoe, if you're into this even a little bit and a little bit confused, now's the time to come. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a free class because it will be a great class for you.
Sounds good. I bought your book, by the way.
Thank you.
So,
did you read it?
I read part of it. Some of it I agreed with, some of I didn't. But
what could you not agree with?
Interesting. Well, I'm old school. I'm older than you, and something. As I recall, there was things about taking out loans and things that.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't too crazy about, But
so you're
works.
You're a Dave Ramsey fan.
Well, I do hear him, but I'm not like crazy on. I'm not really crazy on any particular. I'm a stock picker.
Okay.
Basically, and I buy the stocks and I try to pinpoint ones that I think are going to go up, and I hold them. And sometimes I'll buy a call, but I don't go to the level of detail like you do. And I hear you're making money on it.
Oh yeah.
I should look into it more. Probably come to class, but I'm never there on Thursday. So.
You should come to class. Yeah. I'm telling you, you should do it.
Yeah.
All right, Roscoe.
It's not out of the question.
Well, we so appreciate you listening, and we hope you're going to continue to learn. And if you continue to read the book, you might find more interesting things about money that you didn't even know.
I'm going to read that more tonight, and remember what I said about kinder words.
Yeah, right. Wife. I got you. Oh, well, thanks, Roscoe. Now you're gonna make me feel really guilty that I wrote that. But I appreciate you, man.
Everything we do has an impact. So you think about it and you learn,
whether we like it or not.
I was gonna say, sounds like Ken.
Yeah, really. All right, Roscoe. Thanks so much. Hey, don't forget to also come to our Lev 27 event, our fundraiser. We'd love to meet you there. If you don't come to class, we'd love to meet you there, or come to class. All right. What else?
Or the Money Hacks event.
Or the Money Hacks event. What else, Dr. Deb?
My husband says that to me. Thanks for putting up with all my crap, like when he's doing stuff.
Right?
So he says that to me, not all the time, but he does say it to me.
I think that's a man thing,
I don't get offended by that. It's just like, but then again, I tell him all the time, if I was him, I would have left me long ago because I'm such a pain in the butt to deal with. So I'm surprised he has stayed as long as he has also. So, whatever.
Well, I don't know. I think he's lucky because, I get to see you every day, work with you every day. So, I think he's lucky.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
There you go.
All right.
Anyway, moving on.
Exactly, yeah. I know. And if we could have Glenn here, too. If we have Glenn, Omri, you, we have Brian, and, all the cool people, Kimmy, and Jim even listening right now. If we had all these cool people here, we would have the greatest work environment ever.
I think our work environment is pretty good, actually, right now.
I know.
It is. It's actually pretty good.
Should we talk about our sexual harassment policy?
No.
Oh, Omri's not here. We can't talk about that. If Omri was here, we could talk about our sexual harassment policy.
Although we had some sexual harassment on Friday.
We did?
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened.
So I was grabbing something off the board, and then Omri said something about my rear end, and I'm like, why are you staring at my ass? And he's like, well, if you can stare at my penis, I can stare at your ass. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that, but I can't remember when it happened. I was sick. What can I tell you?
Yeah.
We're having a meeting and I'm sick.
Yeah. Good. So glad you're paying attention while we're there.
I'm just hoping that Glenn didn't have to.
No, you could say those words. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I know there's 7 words you can't say.
Yeah, and that's not one of them.
And I don't think those are.
Yeah, I don't think those are one of them. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I know what they are, or at least the ones that I'm not allowed to say. But anyway.
Yeah, who knows? I just if I want to say some of those words, I make it really, 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 really simple.
Okay. Well, whatever. Anyway, moving on. Moving on.
All right, moving on. We got 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Let's give some good words of wisdom, right?
Good words of wisdom.
Good words of wisdom.
You know what happened the other day, which I'm gonna toot my horn a little bit. So I don't always think of myself as like a coach or a mentor that much, really. But one of the students was in school on Thursday, and he says to me he was looking at a property in Trenton, and they wanted $280,000, and it was a duplex. And I'm like, okay, so what are the rents? He's like, around $2,000. I said, no. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, no. You know what I mean? Like, the rents are $2,000.
Not gonna work.
It's not going to work. I'm like, you're not, not even counting taxes, insurance, and what if something goes wrong? He's like, yeah, but I think it's a good price. And I'm like, no. I said, show me how that's a good deal. So it was just interesting. And I'm like, look, I don't do much in Trenton, and I suggested Bill because Bill does a lot of work that he talks to Bill, one of our other coaches here, because he does a lot of work in Trenton. But I'm looking at him, I'm like, tell me how this is working, because none of the numbers from what you're telling me make any sense. He's like, well, I might need to put a little work into it. And I'm like, absolutely not.
That even makes it worse.
That's what I said. I'm like, that makes it, that's even worse. And I'm like, maybe 170, maybe, you know what I mean? I'm like, don't be thinking 280. He's like, yeah, but, I could do this, I could do that. I'm like, no. I'm like, this isn't working for you at all. So I just thought it was interesting because it just clicked in my head. I'm like, this is not right, So right. I thought it was. So I was just excited because usually, I don't think that way. But I think when I'm not in your shadow, quote unquote,
You never have to.
Stop! I'm kidding.
I'm
kidding. I'm kidding.
You are really bright, so I don't. There's some things some things I know, and as a team, and with Omri and everybody else who coaches. We make a great team. We make it easy for people to do the right thing.
Yeah. No, but I was excited. I'm like, it's just because I was like right off the bat. I'm like, no, this isn't going to work, and I was listing all the reasons why. So I was pretty excited about that.
So we made it through. We only got like 3 more minutes. We made it through, and I'm starting to cough now.
Yeah.
And this ticking noise is driving me absolutely.
I know
bonkers.
it's very annoying.
So and it's funny because it usually happens when I turn on the system.
Okay.
I know right away.
Okay.
And it's actually something at PHT. It's actually something on their comics. You know what? Hey, Glenn, do you have a cell phone?
Yeah.
Where is your cell phone right now? Is it on the console?
It's no. It's against the back wall.
Has it been there the whole time, or did you move it?
It's charging. I can
unplug it.
Okay.
I don't know. You guys are listening to silence. The radio's listening to silence.
It's unplugged.
All right.
It didn't go away.
It didn't go away.
And the phone is against the back wall.
But move the phone somewhere else.
I'm
curious to see if that's the noise. No, just move it somewhere else.
Okay.
Because it sounds like a cell phone. It sounds like a cell phone signal that's interfering with a radio, with a RF.
It always amazes me that you know how to do all this AV stuff.
I know. It's one of those things. What can I tell you?
Yeah.
So Kimmy says, great show. Happy Passover and happy Easter to everybody. Thank you, Kimmy. I'm going to go home and have some ham and French toast for my dinner tonight.
Ham and French toast?
The phone is in the hall
with
the door closed.
It's not that. It's not that then. Yeah. No, there's something that triggers your Comrex to make noise because I know it comes from you because it's not here. Because if I shut off the Comrex, it goes away.
Next time we can try jumping to 13.
Yeah, but what was weird was, it usually happens as soon as we come in, so that's why we don't have that problem. But whatever, it's fine. It's okay. I was just looking for something to talk about for the last minute.
I never understood, though. Why do people eat ham on
People eat ham?
Why is ham
I have no idea. I don't know. I was making a joke that I'm going to be eating ham and French toast on Passover.
No, I got
the joke.
I got the joke, but I mean, because I know we get a free ham from the supermarket, and we don't eat ham, so I don't understand why you get a ham.
It's like turkey at Thanksgiving. It's just a habit. It's a traditional meal. That's all.
Okay.
You got the ticket now, Larry?
Yeah,
it's still there. Yeah, it's still there.
We'll
I'm trying different things.
No, that doesn't matter. We're about to
worry about it next week when we're not on the air.
Yeah, it's fine.
It matters, baby.
Honestly, it matters to me too. But so here's the thing, right? It's one of those things where you either try to fix it, or if you can't fix it, the show must go on.
Yeah.
So if all the people on Facebook are listening to the ticking and they're getting annoyed, it's just so everybody remember it's Glenn's fault. All right, yes. And with that, I want to thank all the listeners. I want to thank the people on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and YouTube for putting up with the ticking noise that Glenn messed up on because it's all Glenn's fault.
We love you, Glenn.
It's not really Glenn's fault. We don't even know what it is.
I still love Glenn.
Wait, did it stop?
No, it's still there.
It's still there. Okay. All right. So anyway, figures we have 15 seconds left. I want to let everybody know to go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. And you can take a complimentary class this Thursday. We're expecting to see Roscoe because Roscoe wants to do stock options and everybody else wants to do stock options. Investorschooling.com.
This program is paid for by Investor Schooling. All opinions or statements expressed on the program